Yeah.
Are we live?
Oh.
Chat. Hit
Okay.
me up. We
No, we're live.
We're live. Cool.
We're talking about tariffs.
Yeah.
It's fun. Always fun stuff.
That old chestnut.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hello,
the
everyone.
Stream Gang ping has been sent. I can now close Discord. Hello, friends. How we doing?
Hello.
Woo.
Let us know how the audio is.
Hello, Mark. Mr. Super. Nice to see you. Hello, Craig. Nice to see you. Sarah, Andrew's cousin. Good to see you.
My cousin. It's always nice to see my cousin in the chat.
Yeah.
Or in the comments.
A lot of regular viewers showing up. Nice to see you all.
I see it. What are we looking at here, Griff?
What?
On
What?
the stream, it's showing your laptop.
Showing.
I don't
What?
see his laptop. I just see us.
Look at the stream.
Does everything look okay, guys, on the stream?
Yeah, everything looks fine here.
I'm asking chat.
Are you
Oh,
watching
this
from
might have been delayed. I see.
Oh,
the very
okay.
beginning?
Oh, yeah. There was a point when I had to put my camera together.
Okay, got it.
Hi, guys. So today's stream is not like this is not the noise floor. This is not us having topics and talking about them. This is a celebration of the Headphone Show's YouTube channel hitting 200,000 subscribers. So obviously that is thanks to the subscribers.
It's a celebration of life.
Well, it's a celebration of memes, audio, and sadness. But here we are. So we're here for you guys today. So we'll talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. If you have any questions or anything you want to ask of any of us as individuals or as a group, or any advice you need about audio or anything like that, now's the time. This whole stream we are going to be looking at chat and basically talking about whatever you guys put up there. So we should start a stream like what Marvin just said.
Okay. Joel is asking for spiciest philosophy take.
Oh,
All
God,
right.
we're
That's
what?
No, I
that's
want to
weird.
hear.
We have to give
I
that
want
to
to
the
hear yours.
subscribers.
I want to hear yours.
My spiciest philosophy.
And it can't
take?
just be like that you don't like philosophy or whatever, right? Like we need like
No,
an actual.
no, it's not. Thing is, it's not really a spicy take. I feel like the take would probably be something like most of the people who pay attention to philosophy would do well to implement the learnings of philosophy better in their life than they currently do.
That's not a philosophical take. That's just like commentary on a discipline.
Okay, I mean,
Come on.
a broader philosophical take.
What's your stance on truth and epistemology?
Yeah, not a fan personally.
Okay. Just generally. Theory of knowledge out.
Don't like knowing things. Don't like communicating things.
Oh, okay. Philosophers are bad at life, listeners.
That's my take, though. That is actually my take.
Yeah, evidence right here.
What about you,
Cameron?
guys?
Cameron, what's yours?
Optimistic nihilism, I guess. Like that, nothing actually technically matters. So just do what makes you feel happy, basically.
Have you seen the show In-Betweeners?
Yeah. If you're in Britain, you
have to, right? Yeah, it's a requirement. It's part of school. I'm pretty sure that your take there is those are the views of Neil.
Kind of, but I think you could take it in bad ways. Like you can still be an optimistic nihilist and be a dickhead.
Yeah.
Yeah, a better way of putting it, this is a better definition, is a philosophy that embraces existential nihilism, the idea that life has no inherent meaning, by reframing it as a source of liberation and an opportunity to create personal meaning.
Mm-hmm.
That's a better way of putting it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this perspective encourages people to focus on the present, enjoy life's fleeting experiences, and strive for happiness and connection, rather than succumbing to a despair over a lack of ultimate purpose.
Okay.
Anyway, EQ.
Actually, Anthixius asks, does Tungsten still rank near the top of your favorite open back headphones?
I don't think it ever did for you, Griff.
No, I don't like that headphone.
Yeah.
For me, it does. It's just an absolute pain in the ass to drive. Although apparently the V2 is easier, but I also don't know how different that sounds. I haven't heard that one yet.
But I like that it's a pain in the ass to drive.
It kind of makes it fun
Then it
in
makes
a way.
it so that there's a point to the amplifier industry.
You're not wrong. I do kind of unironically hold that take somewhat. Like
Yeah.
there's a charm to a hard to drive headphone that I
Yes.
think, isn't lost on a lot of the people who have fun source gear. But I think a lot of the people who don't explore that area think it's just like, oh, this is stupid. It's like, you're not entirely wrong, but there's something nice about it. I don't know.
Yeah. I like the way the Tungsten sounds. I'm just not a fan of the comfort, personally. That's all.
The comfort for me is pretty good, but I think it is it the headband bit that gets you, or
It's just a bit heavy. Yeah.
Oh,
And
it's a little heavy.
yeah.
I find that it distributes the weight a lot better than many other, even sometimes lighter headphones, though, so I don't mind it so much. Yeah, for me, it's just that I can't actually really run it on like my HM1 or anything because it kind of needs more than 10 volts a lot of the time. So I do actually I break out the speaker amp for that one. I put the HP2 often. But
there's reasons to be an audiophile. Tungsten.
Yeah. Mitch Sigler asks, how can I learn about the different high-end players and all the different models they carry so I know what to buy? Easiest way is just go to a Can Jam, man. Yeah, all of the high-end players will typically be there, and they'll typically have most of their lineup. And it's a really quick and efficient way to just run through all of them as quick as you probably can, realistically.
Someone's asking what happened to the Noise Floor channel. Yeah, for the Noise Floor episodes, they will be there.
Yeah, this was not a Noise Floor thing.
Yeah.
So this is just it's for this channel, right? It's the 2,000 subscribers for this channel. So
yeah,
2,000 subs.
Sorry, 200,000. 2 million.
2 million. Yeah. The other part of it was we were going to do a live stream last week, but then for whatever reason, because that channel doesn't have enough, it's a brand new channel. You got to schedule it to like a bunch in advance or something like that, and we haven't done that. So that we'll try and do that for next week.
Try and get through. I've got an HE6 SEV2. Can I run it out of a DX3 Pro Plus? Yes. It's not that hard a headphone to drive, and the DX3 Pro Plus is pretty powerful.
My harder to drive sus is dumb, but it's my dumb. Hell yeah.
Well, Susvara's not. Tungsten is, I would say, harder to drive than Susvara. Susvara needs more current, so like it can actually change in the amp that you run it on might change in performance more than the Tungsten. But the Tungsten's the one where like because it needs more voltage, even though less current, you might just not be able to turn it up enough, or it might just clip, particularly with bassier tracks. Like if there's a lot of amps where if you run it on, the bass does just clip.
Squashed Out asks, general thought on ESTAT headphones. I've heard many Martin Logan speakers, and for me personally, and what I like, pretty much all speakers and headphones are a letdown when compared to those.
I like a lot of what ESTATs tend to do. The problem for me is just that very often, with a couple exceptions, they just have no bass. There's only a few which don't really have that issue for me. I mean, the X9000 is okay, but it's still pretty bass light. The Bravura is not bass light, but you can't turn it up very much. It's pretty SPL limited. And then there's the Aperio and HE1, which I can't afford. And so most of the other actual options that are left just have some pretty significant drawbacks for me.
Yeah, I was going to say Aperio and HE1 are good for bass, but I can't think of other ESTATs that are. Like, I think
those are the only two that I actually really like the bass on and don't feel like they've got,
the
significant.
SR07 is, I mean, I wouldn't say it's good for bass, but it's not as bright as the 09 is, and that kind of helps with that overall kind of balance.
The 007, I've only heard the Mark II, and that one was weird because it does do bass better than a lot of other ESTATs, but then I don't find that it gives you the kind of ESTAT treble stuff.
Yeah.
And so it's like, okay, I'd just rather be listening to a planar at this point.
Interesting.
So it's like it does it, but then it doesn't. It almost doesn't sound like another E-stat.
Yeah, it's like tuned more like an Odyssey or something like that, right?
Yeah. And because the guy mentioned Martin Logan's, I will note that the thing with Martin Logan's is that they don't use the E-stat driver for everything. They have a dynamic driver for the low frequencies. So similar kind of thing going on there.
Very true.
The E-stat driver isn't actually doing the bass.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I like the E-stat presentation, actually. I like...
Yep,
I'm
Griffin
not
is all about bright tunings.
No, because it's like it's not really the brightness of E-stats that gives it
trolling.
its essential character, in my opinion. It's like it's the lack of bass relative to like the mid-range hump that kind of like makes it a very like lean, like nimble, quick listen. There's really like no encumbrance at all on those headphones. The fact that they're
from an acoustic impedance perspective, they're theoretically kind of the best option.
Yeah,
it's just that so many of them then have massive inherent tuning issues, which kind of
I mean, so I like a lot of headphones that are tuned similarly to like the typical E-stat presentation, like the Moondrop Cosmo or like the Headphone V2 like original, where they have like lean bass, 1K forwardness, reduced ear gain, and then maybe some extra spice in the upper treble. It's not a signature I find myself disagreeing with. I just think when it comes to stats in particular, the mix of the openness with those qualities and the fact that the mid-range bump is a bit bigger on those typically than on like the plain R or the AMT options I mentioned, it just tends to sound a little bit less balanced and a little bit more timbrely wonky. But I don't know. I still think the presentation.
Get out of here with that wonky pronunciation.
Wooden timbre.
Yeah.
Timbre.
Someone's asking about EST drivers for IEMs. So he says, I understand that they are expensive, but is it worth the price or the hype? So for those who don't know, EST or Electret drivers are functionally, for the most part, identical to electrostatics, except rather than applying a bias voltage to the membrane constantly, it's pre-charged, basically. Are they worth the price or hype? I would say no, not really. Especially,
never buy a product because it tells you it has a specific type of driver, right? Like that's because there's buy a product because it is tuned well.
I will say that I do tend to find that tuning being roughly equal, I do prefer other drivers over BA drivers, and BA drivers do have some not as ideal distortion characteristics compared to dynamics and ESTs, but it's not that like ESTs are better inherently or anything. And actually, some of my favorite IMs are using dynamic drivers and stuff. So don't buy a headphone or an IEM based on the particular type of driver it's got. Always buy it based on how the actual product as a whole performs, especially with IEMs, where if you've got multiple drivers and everything and all sorts of different tunings, it can end up in. It doesn't matter what you put in it. You can make something great or something terrible.
Yeah.
And also, if you want to know about how drivers actually work, then go and watch our headphone driver types explained video, because the algorithm didn't quite know who to serve that one to. But I think a lot of people find that one interesting.
Yeah.
Actually, let me link to it. One second.
Someone was asking about it says, congrats on 200K, guys. In your opinion, what would be a worthwhile upgrade from the Sennheiser HD600 equalizer APO?
Sennheiser HD650.
Ooh, bad take. No, I mean that's sort of the question, right? Like, what is the upgrade to those headphones? 650, 600, 6XX. Like, it's a tough. A lot of different companies have tried to do this. No, I can't. No, I don't think so. It's
not the direct upgrade.
Spicy take. The Headphone 2 GT is a Sennheiser HD650 with the contrast turned up to literally.
I get it. I see what you're saying.
Stretch it, and that's what that headphone is.
And you say that, but the interesting thing actually is that you're kind of spot on, because the Headphone 2 GT, like the treble stuff, like the fine grain stuff, almost exactly matches the HD600. Like it's really close. Not as in like, the treble is the same level, but like the peaks and dips are all almost identical. It's got
the big bass boost that like is dynamic driver shaped kind
but
of,
is
more like mid bass, upper bass, and then it does that dip and then hits that 1K, which the Sennheisers have, but it's relaxed. But if you stretch the graph, looks like Headphone 2 GT.
Yeah.
Then it goes up into the ear gain, kind of typically. It has a small 5K thing, which the Sennheisers do have.
So I have a bit of a hot take on this. Well, maybe
Yeah.
it's probably not hot here, but I think that it's a mistake to try and make an upgrade to the HD 600 650 because there is I mean I've heard this before.
Not be improved upon. There's no point in trying.
Perfection.
That is not what he's
No.
saying. It better
No,
not be
like
what he's saying.
no, it's not what I'm saying. I think that the issue is people are trying to. I would also co-sign the idea of trying to get something that is similarly neutral-ish with better bass extension, for example, right? Something along those lines is exactly what the people want. But a lot of the companies chasing this idea, I feel, are not appropriately recognizing what makes the HD 600 and 650 special. And then that's why they're failing, right? And that's why they're like, maybe they get close, but they don't quite get there, right? Like a good example would be like the Focal Hadenis, right? It technically did do upgrade to HD 600 and 650 in terms of the bass, right? Like for that, to give it more bass. However, that shifted ear gain makes it so that it doesn't have that same kind of timbre characteristic that makes those headphones great. So it's like an upgrade in some respects, but it's not exactly the HD 600 650 with extra bass, right? So instead, I think what manufacturers should shoot for is HD 550 with better bass, or with like a bass shelf or something like that, right? Or bass boost of some kind, because that, I think, it's an easier thing to target in a way, because the understanding of what makes it good is a little bit more straightforward.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just paying attention to chat here as well, because if we only handle things vocally, we're gonna take so long all giving our takes that we're gonna miss a lot of stuff. So I just want to make sure that I'm going back.
Yeah, do keep giving us questions, but we'll apologize in advance because there's quite a lot coming, which is nice. But we might not be able to get all of them. But hey, if yours doesn't get answered in like 20 minutes, then just post it again.
Grant K asks, any new products recently released or announced you're looking forward to trying?
Hyphaman Edition XV and HE600, both of those actually.
Mm-hmm.
I tried the Edition XV at CanJam London, and I really liked it. It's very similar to most other Hyphamans, except for the fact that the whole sort of upper treble is just kind of tuned down a bit, so it doesn't have the Hyphaman brightness.
Well, it's not just the upper treble; it's the mid treble as well. Like it's 6K-ish region, 4K.
I say upper treble as in like past like 4K.
Yeah. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. So it's like it's without changing any of the sort of profile as such. It's just not got that Hyphaman brightness that a lot of people aren't so into, which I think is going to mean that a lot of people who are really into the traditional Hyphaman signature aren't going to be as into this. But I think that this is going to be probably more appealing to quite a lot of people that aren't into that.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, I'm curious about those as well. I'm also curious to hear the Moondrop Laputa.
Laputa.
Apparently it's from Gulliver's Travels. I don't know. Griffin knows more about this than I do, or the reference. But.
Yeah, I feel like this headphone coming out was a very effective weeb or non-weeb filter, because all the weebs knew what it was. They knew it was like a studio.
Somehow you knew what it was.
In the sky thing. But like all of the elder frankly white guy reviewers like you and Mark were like, oh my god, they called it La Puta.
Yeah.
Pretty funny.
So yeah, I'm curious about that one. And
some of the stuff didn't travel to Spain or Latin America.
Very true.
But yeah, I'm curious about some of those new Moondrop ones that seem well, and like things that are iterating on the Cosmo platform, or whatever that, like say Cosmo or Para 2 or whatever. It seems interesting.
Yeah. I
think Caleb actually tried them.
Honestly, most. I feel like he's got so many things cooking.
Yeah.
That, I just want to hear all of them. I was upset I didn't get to go to Shenzhen to hear them.
Yeah. Somebody didn't figure out the visa process, and then wasn't able to go to the Shenzhen audio show. All right, what's next? If you had a $315 $315 US, would you get a killer IEM, a killer source, or multiple IEMs with different sound signatures?
I mean, you can't listen to a source without headphones, so that
True.
kind of rules that out. Like, you can't just stick your finger into the dongle and anyway. I under
Has to be-
300. Let's avoid that tangent. Under 300, I think IEMs probably have to be the way to go. Blaine is here. Hello, Blaine.
Hi, Blaine.
We're
Happy
talking
to
about
have you.
sticking things into sockets, and Blaine
Wait,
appears.
Blaine, are you
There
in
aren't
Helsinki
many-
right now?
I really wish I was in Helsinki. I did want to go to that, but there's like too many.
It's easier for
things
you
going up.
than us.
Well, yeah, but then I've got SoCal coming up and then China afterwards, so I can't really do like 3 things back to back, and then possibly Vienna. Although if we can get the London thing sorted, that'll be better.
Blaine, he's asking if you're in Helsinki right now, which is a great name for a city, by the way.
Helsinki's pretty solid, yeah.
Yeah.
Now I got to scroll up to find where I was.
Yeah,
are there many instances under $300 where there are headphones that you would pick rather than IEMs? Because even though I'm not so into IEMs personally, I generally prefer headphones.
Sorry, what price did you say?
Under 300.
Well,
where I would choose IEMs over headphones?
No, other way around. Because for me, I'm not so into IEMs usually. Like, I prefer headphones when possible. But under 300, I feel like there are so many good IEMs and just not that many good headphones.
No, I disagree. I think so. The problem is that the HD 550 apparently went up in price. I don't understand. Like, they released it at under 300, or they announced it under 300, and then suddenly it's 350, which is kind of, I don't know what's going on there. Maybe it's 300 in other regions, right?
550, 220 here. So
really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, we're getting
screwed. 220 pounds. So
yeah, right.
So it's like $500. Got it.
Yeah. But there's also the HD6XX and 650 that I would definitely recommend. It's under 300. I would recommend that over most IEMs.
Yeah, I think Odyssey Maxwell, we're kind of bound to have different anatomically based takes, though, because I feel like,
of course, they're anatomically based.
Never work for you in the treble. So, like,
unless there's like, because I have come across some that do, but it's like that is bound to. Well, it depends on the person's ear canal, right? But so, for example, where the length mode resonance still shows up, but it is more appropriately balanced by the rest of the tune.
It's not only the length mode resonance, though. It's like that the whole pattern of peaks is shifted.
Yes.
Peaks and dips is shifted lower. So you usually get a peak and then a big dip.
Yep.
In that mid treble region, which I don't think you usually get in headphones.
Well, that's right. That doesn't mean that I don't have sensitivities to specific regions in headphones.
No, of course not. I'm just saying,
but it's not nearly as noticeable.
Up and downy thing in IEMs, I think, for you than it is for me. Whereas I actually think I would. God, this is gonna sound so fucking chilly, but a reminder to everyone that I make no money on this. I would take the Pure over like the 600, 650 just because the treble works better for me.
No shot. No shot.
Yeah, I mean, again, the treble. There's no shot the treble for that IEM sounds anywhere near as good for me or for you as it does for me. So
yes,
yeah.
Sarah Park just mentioned the Edition XS. Actually, I would take that over most IEMs. I do quite like that headphone. I'm less a fan of the ergonomics of it, but I do like the headphone.
Odyssey Maxwell. The only issue is the weight, but if you're not listening for long sessions, that's probably better than most IEMs for me. Okay, next question.
Ghost wants to buy a headphone / IEM. He's currently using the Tangsu One Air, which is a like simple single dynamic driver IEM. It's got that kind of IEF neutral tuning with maybe a little bit extra 2K and bass, but he's saying the bass is not that rich. His budget is $150. He's thinking between the Truth Ear Red, HD560S, VO FT1, or Hexa. For richness of bass, I would probably go for the FT1 out of any of those.
Yep.
If those are the only options you're considering.
Someone says Resolve is choppy. Is it my video that's choppy?
Your video is a little blocked.
A little bit.
I'm not. I don't think. I mean, it's fine. We could see you, but yeah, it's just a little. The
a little
pixels
bit
are quite large.
Skype 2007 vibes.
Yeah, a
I wonder if
very succinct summarization of
I
what
wonder
he
if this
looks
is a
like
me
in.
thing or a ping thing.
I mean, I think we look fine, so I think it's probably a you thing.
Are you trying lowering your like webcam res? I found previously that if I try and send to ping and like 4K or whatever it is, it dies.
Oh yeah, good call. That's probably what it is. I'll work on that.
I'm looking for more questions.
Apparently, Maxwell frequency response changed with the most recent firmware for the worse.
I've been waiting for Andrew to actually change to check on that.
I need to test that.
We're getting a great view of Andrew's shoulder here.
Rapid fire question: do you guys like FT1
really?
Pro more or Edition XS? I like FT1 Pro more.
I like Edition XS more, but I can see both. Like they're both good. It's just in different ways. I don't really consider either of those a better headphone than the other.
Andrew?
Sorry, what was the question?
FT1 Pro or Edition XS?
For what?
Just your opinion. Which one you like more?
Oh, I would take Edition XS because that's a much more consistent positionally, and if you wear glasses, it's not as sensitive to it is sensitive to leakage effects, but it makes things better, not worse.
Got it.
Grant K asking, Golden, you still working on a video comparing all the shit Yggdrasil variants? Yes, I am. I don't have a biggie, but I do have all of the other ones. I don't know when that'll be done, but yes.
Cam, do you have a DAC or amp? Sorry, a DAC amp recommendation for the Headphone 2 GT or original Headphone 2? They are a bit.
At what price?
Oh, that's a great question. Squashed out. If you want to clarify that really quick and ping Cameron with it, that would be a good idea because I have no recommendations there. I don't do the whole DAC amp thing.
Any price, sure. Get a Playback Designs MPD8 for $30,000 and a Mascobo 465 for about $15,000. No, so maybe 1,000-ish plus or minus. JDS Element 4.
Can you guys see me?
Because
am I?
Nope. Yeah, under 1,000. JDS Element 4, hands down. Looks great, feels great, sounds great, objectively great. It's got really nice built-in EQ stuff. I like the sound of that much better than most of the topping stuff I've tried. And I think that having built-in EQ is quite important with those headphones. I think you can get a lot more out of them. So yeah, JDS Element 4, and that's just an overall great source. There's a follow-up source question from Schooleon who says, between the Ferrum stack or the Hollow Audio stack, which would you pick to be your only source and amplification? I think that the Hollow May is a slightly better DAC than the Wandler, but it's got the inconvenience that you have to use external oversampling pretty much because the internal oversampling is bad. I use the May in my speaker system and the Wandler in my headphone system because I like the Wandler more for headphone listening because of the spatial enhancement stuff.
Makes sense.
So even though I like the May slightly better just as a standalone DAC, nothing else, when headphone listening, the spatial enhancement makes a much bigger difference than the DAC itself does for me. So that's what I use. But I use both in systems.
Natural spatial enhancement.
Joshua Clark says, congrats on 200K. Cameron, are you still loving the Atrium? Love to hear Griffin Andrews' take too.
Yes, I like the Atrium a lot. It's not a neutral headphone. It's one that it's not a detailed headphone. it's the headphone that I use when I want to listen to music without being distracted effectively. I find that I can't put on a Sesvara or a whatever and listen to music and get work done at the same time because I just get like the music is distracting. Whereas the Atrium, it's just I find so pleasant to listen to as a sort of background thing without being in your face presentation. And so that still for me kind of gets the most head time. I really like the Atrium a lot. It's a very, very comfy sound signature.
So it's basically like a Cost Porta Pro, right?
No,
man, I wish that comparison was further off.
I'm joking.
It's definitely better. It's definitely a lot better, but it is similar in terms of its tilt and kind of features. Like it is, got that swell in the low mids and upper bass, and it's very well tilt mids.
I've never been a fan of the Atrium. It sounds shouty to me and kind of dull. And I much preferred the one he did before that, the Auteur. I thought that was great.
Headphone.
Yeah, no, it's because it has treble.
The pads are something, because there's a couple pads where, excuse me, I do find it gets shouty for me, but then I need to find out which particular pads they are. I think they're whatever the stock ones are, the perforated something. Those ones I don't get shout on, but the other ones I do, which is odd.
Yeah,
I'd have to try it with whatever those specific pads are, because that is always the thing with those. Depends on the pads. I know Doug loves the Atrium too, but yeah, every time I've heard it at a show, it's just not for me.
Just to give my take so we can move on. Not a fan. Too dark, too warm. Yeah.
I'm just gonna restart my browser here because I think my camera has shit itself.
Bye.
1 second.
Okay.
Kinvor asking, does anyone here have a JDS Synapse and would you recommend it? So for most good like USB DACs, you shouldn't really need an isolator or anything like that. It is something which there are a lot of products where I've tested where they do change very slightly in performance if you use a noisy versus a clean USB source, but it's not the first thing at all that I would recommend spending money on. That being said, it can make a slight difference. The Synapse is the second cleanest USB source I've tested, which actually been doing some stuff on recently. This is an interesting looking cable, USB with an XLR in the middle of it. There'll be some content on that shortly. And it's like $49. So for $49, you can just have one of the cleanest USB sources in the world and then never have to worry about it again. So for that reason, it's kind of nice to have. But for the most part, put that money towards your headphones and stuff first.
Absolutely.
Or as a listener saying too dark, too warm is wild.
Oh, we have a super chat from Hugo Welty. Do any of you have problems with irritation on your ears with headphones? It used to be velour that made my ears itchy before, but lately it's everything. Have any of you run across this problem? Personally, I haven't, in terms of like the material causing a rash or anything like that, if that's what you're talking about. I've had issues with IMs causing soreness in my ear before, and with clampy headphones causing kind of a, like a headache or like it's just pain on the side of my jaw and temple, but never anything material related like that. How about you, Cameron?
I've not. The only time I've had issues is like physical irritation from pressure or something. It could be that you've developed an allergy to something in some of these pads, maybe. I know some people can like get allergic to, their own sweat and stuff. So potentially, like if the pads are getting some of that in, it's then causing irritation. Unfortunately, I think the answer there is probably just you got to try and find a pad material that doesn't cause you irritation. Or work out whether it's like a physical irritation, but it seems more likely that it might be an allergy or something of some sort.
Yeah, I know. I guess I'm wondering, like, was the headphone brand new? Was it pre-owned? Was it used? Because I wonder if, like, maybe some. Oh, there you are.
There's no scenario where I can get this to work.
It's working right now.
I know. I'm just saying I will be a slideshow or whatever, pixelated.
No, it's not even that you were a slideshow before. It's just that you were a little bit chunky in terms of like the pixels.
Calling resolve fat.
Yeah, maybe I'm just a little bit chunky. All right.
Crap. What was I just talking about? I forget. Oh, yeah. I was gonna say, if it's like a factory refurbished item, they might have used some sort of like antiseptic or cleaning agent that could still be on the headphone.
Sorry, what's the question here we're on?
It was, have you ever dealt with any like irritation from from headphones, like skin irritation or anything like that? And Cameron and I haven't. I don't know if you have.
Not particularly, no. No, can't say that I have.
Indika Widianto asks, do you think high-end IEMs like the U12T have better sound quality compared to mid-fi headphones like the HD600? So high-end IEMs like the U12T. I don't know. I don't think so.
Well, okay, this is not really a fair question for like it it adds the assumption, right, that there's a linear progression of sound quality towards the high end, right? And it's not even that there is not a linear progression of sound quality like that. It's that sound quality is extremely hit and miss, particularly with IEMs across the entire price range. Particularly if you think about like, okay, $200 versus $2,000 or $200 versus $10,000. There's no guarantee that anything higher than the $200 price range is going to be more preferred by somebody. And the reason it's particularly difficult with IEMs is because of things like the length mode resonance and the pinna assumption issues. So it's you can't say, oh yeah, U12T is going to be more preferred than the, what was the comparison? Say HD6
HD600. What's funny is I'm working on ranking lists for IM and headphones right now, and I just checked, and for the kind of lumped sound quality score, I have them both at the exact same score.
But they're very different sounding, right? So it's like
they are, yeah. But like their individual like bass mid-range treble scores are quite different. But,
yeah. Exactly. So to me, it's just like
both at a 5.4 out of 10.
Yeah, I don't think you should look at the question of sound quality like that. Is how I would answer it.
Yeah.
Price is not a good indicator of sound quality.
Yeah,
and especially with IEMs, it feels like every other week there's a new $4,000-$5,000 IEM. Like CanJam London was weird because almost half the floor was taking up with like flagship IEMs. It was many from brands I'd literally never heard of or that were releasing that week. And yeah,
sorry,
don't get me wrong. What's up?
Oris says U12T, no. Pure, yes.
What was the?
Oh, for the previous question.
Yeah, hold on. I'm trying to remember like the way the last question was phrased. I know Oris doesn't like the Pure, so I assume it's derogatory.
He's trolling you. He's giving you shit about the Pure.
I don't even think he's trolling. I know he doesn't like that IEM.
Yes.
Joe Buckle asks, are you guys going to review the new Audeze closeback LCD20? I don't know if we've got any plans to review it. Resolve and I did try it at Munich, and we're a little mixed on it. It's built beautifully. I really like the build on it.
I was whelmed.
But the sound is...
Yeah. Like... Well,
I mean, they haven't sent us one or anything.
No.
So.
No.
The build was good enough to where I was like, this is a headphone I could be happy just owning and being done, provided I went heavy on the EQ, right? But stock, I don't think that the sound was better than like an FT1, for example.
No, I'd take an FT1 over those, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't, to be clear. I would take an X, whatever it is, 20 over an FT1 because of for sure, because I EQ things, right?
Oh, right, yeah. But if we're just talking about out of the box sound.
Yeah, out of the box, yeah.
Why is the S20 better for EQ?
Because I felt that it was actually better coupling on my head. Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah, like for whatever reason, like and the fit and the comfort were great on it. I thought. But again, that's just off of a very brief listen, so it's hard to know how that would be over time. I will say I liked that closeback from Audeze better than their new high-end E-Stat by quite a bit.
Yes,
Carbon 2,
me too.
Yeah,
the Carbon 2 though, every single time I've heard it, it sounded different. Like I've heard it at CanJam, I think it was Dallas, Munich, CanJam New York, I think it was as well, or something. There's like been several shows, and every single time it sounded considerably different. So I don't know what's going on. To be clear, I've unfortunately not been keen on any of them. But either there's some unit variation going on, or there's some pretty different results from the sources going on, which actually could be possible because I've recently worked on a video for the Hyperman Shangri-La Senior and found some significant differences between sources, and I'm trying to work on a way to actually get the E-Stat energizers measured. So that's going to be interesting. But it seems like there's more to E-Stat sources in terms of the resulting sound you get, potentially not in a good way.
Mr. Augius Zero says, if you had to choose only one headphone and one IEM to keep in your collection, sound quality being the only consideration, which one would you guys choose?
Only one?
Audeze LCD4 and Truthier Pure.
Wait, only one is in like you can choose one headphone
One of
and one
each.
IEM? Oh,
Yeah.
one of each. Okay. U6T and headphones, tough question. Maybe this Composer.
Composer is solid. If we are talking about EQ, honestly, I have been really enjoying a fairly heavily EQ'd HD 800S recently. I'd be kind of tempted to go to that, but then my go-to would probably be this Susvara OG. I just really like the Susvara OG a lot, and I don't find a need to EQ that anywhere near as much. For IEMs, I'm not the IEM man. I find myself using the Moondrop Kato most. They just fit with my ears particularly well and have kind of a. Again, I mostly use them when I'm on the go, and so I don't want anything too intense sounding. I just something a little bit punchy, a little bit engaging, and those fit the bill. So
I agree with what Blaine
not
is saying.
Not because they're the best choice, but
sorry, I agree with what Blaine's saying here. The premise that we can evaluate something purely on the basis of sound without bias from other factors is misled.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Which is why I'm not a fan of that of Griffin's take about the LCD4.
Why?
So heavy.
I don't find that headphone that uncomfortable. So
really, oh man,
that one. It's not even that it's heavy; it's that the weight is sort of distributed. Like it feels like you're wearing a hammer on your head, and it's just It's like when you turn your head and your head just kind of wants to keep going for a minute. It's weird.
I can't do it. Can't.
I think so. I've owned a lot of headphones since this was my main headphone, but I often long for the days of my my LCD-X that I had. It was actually one of the most comfortable headphones I've ever owned. So yeah, I think my neck is maybe more strong than it looks, or I just kind of like that kind of very. I don't know. It's definitely cozy is not the word because it is heavy, but the feeling of being hugged by my headphone, I think I do like, which is probably an autism spectrum.
That's what I said in the chat.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. What's the next one here?
I lost my spot. Hello, love your show. Got a question. What's so special about more premium DAC and amps? I'm using an SMSL SH6 SU6 stack, and for me, it's working great. Only thing you don't have a balanced output. If it's working great, it's working great, man.
The price is what's special about it. Yeah. No, okay. Actually, so on this, I was thinking about this earlier today for some reason. What is the best DAC? And the answer is the JDS Element 4 or something that's like that, because it is so much like the sound quality improvements that you can get from something like that is going to eclipse, even if you believe in the merits of fancy DACs, right? The benefits of being able to EQ with that is just going to far outweigh, any of the rest of that stuff, right?
I mean, to answer his question directly, there are reasons why higher end DACs and stuff cost more. A lot of the time, if it's a proprietary design, they've put a lot of R&D into making their own DAC rather than using a off-the-shelf chip or something. Beefier power supplies, getting isolation between digital and analog sections can be quite expensive. Putting galvanic isolation to make sure that if you've got like a noisy PC, it's not interfering with the DAC in any way. That's something that gets into higher end DACs. There are things which make small differences, but even as the person that is an advocate for getting a nice DAC, don't spend tons of money on your source before you've gotten your headphones sorted. Your money should go to your headphones and everything else first. They make drastically more of a difference. It's very, very much diminishing returns.
Craig Stark says Cameron though has been pushing those fancy DACs. Fight. He's looking for violence.
Yeah, I mean, we disagree.
I'm an advocate for it, and there is a lot of, in some cases, kind of incredible engineering that goes into them. I mean, even some of the absurd money stuff. Like there's a company called Wadax which sells a DAC for about $200,000, And the reason it costs 200 grand is because they designed their own, not like just an FPGA, actual custom silicon, an ASIC for it. And just the startup cost to do that is many millions. So it makes sense why it costs that much. That doesn't mean that it's going to sound 200 times better than a $1,000 DAC. Absolutely not. In fact, there's every chance that it might sound worse depending on how they've designed it. Spending more money on something is not a guarantee that it's going to sound better at all. But there are a lot of, particularly with these high-end products, there are a lot of reasons to why they do actually cost more, regardless of whether or not it makes sense. Same thing with headphones. Like, paying more does not get you a better sound, but then there are a lot of high-end headphones where it's like, yeah, this genuinely costs a hell of a lot to make, and they don't sell many of them, so they can't amortize the costs over tons either. So,
yeah, I was gonna say we've had many conversations on this. We pretty much all agree as to the what of it. It's more the only real points of disagreement, Craig, are for us at least are things like audibility thresholds and the degree to which things matter.
Yeah, there isn't really a debate about whether some of this stuff makes a difference, because it's very easy to show that it does. It's just a case of that in most cases it's such a tiny difference that most people shouldn't care, and it's a debate about how much can be or is audible, and even if it is, how much should you care versus the other things you can spend money on. But some of them do make a difference. Ish says, I hate how cool WADAX actually is. Me too, honestly. Like, out of all of the stupid money you could buy a house for this companies, they're the one where I'm like, actually, that's pretty sick. I didn't like the fact that they've even gone and done that's pretty cool.
Is Ish Kyle?
Okay. Oh yeah.
Just a different account, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay, what's next?
One sec. Let's see.
Aura says, I want the WA7 Fireflies just because.
Oh,
Chad.
we had this conversation the other day as well.
This is a Chad take in chat. Finally, someone who understands what DAC and amps are actually good for, which is cute boxes on your desk.
That's
the real value of these boxes, people.
Conversation starter, that's for sure. Weighted priority list.
Dylan asks, any impressions on the new Hi-Fi Men? No, we have not received them yet. We are waiting.
I've tried the Edition XP. I did a little bit earlier. Basically, very similar to most other Hi-Fi Mans, slightly darker treble, which is exactly what a lot of people would want.
Blaine, what is your blarg? Sorry.
Your blarg?
Maybe I missed something.
Oh, Cameron, I think your camera just died.
I'm munching. One sec.
Kind of you to turn off the camera for that. I know some viewers
just make sure they
do hate that.
Make sure you keep the microphone on though, and like just eat very closely to the microphone.
Shoot.
That ASMR eating. All right.
More questions.
I'm
going back now to see if there are any that we missed. Cameron, do you know what DAC chip is in the Element 4?
I think it's an ESS 903. 903, is it 9038? Hang on. I'm pretty sure it's.
If we missed your question before, feel free to ask it again.
9018 K2M.
Favorite open back under $300. Favorite is a tough question because there are good ones, but the 550 is no longer under $300. So HD 600.
Yeah, Edition XS for me. Audio with Argus saying bold or long hair for audio for performance. Well, bold technically is the best. Get a better deal.
Unless you're Oris and you like negative bass. It'd be HD 650 for me in the under 300 range. It would be a 6XX, I guess, because it has to be, because I think 650 is 350.
Yeah, 600 is only on HD 600 is only under 300 when it's on sale, like it was recently.
A name I cannot pronounce asks, could you better explain how implementation matters more than the chip for DACs and give an example of what that might mean? Oh man.
So I'll try and be quick because I don't want to turn it into a DAC stream. the implementation just refers to everything else around the DAC chip. That can mean, does the product have a good power supply that isn't terribly noisy or with loads of ripple? Does it have a good clock in close proximity to the DAC? Does it have USB isolation to prevent noise from the PC affecting things? The IV stage, which converts current to voltage output before the output stage. For ESS DACs in particular, that's really important. And actually, most of the differences that, like the ESS hump, was solved pretty much by changing some stuff in the IV stage. There's no one answer, but basically everything else around the DAC chip itself can impact performance measurably in various ways. And so it's a case of just how well that stuff's been done.
Excellent.
Shay's asking, I asked on the Aria Unveiled, I don't hear a big difference reducing 5K-ish like you and Golden mentioned. How do I know if it's actually better or not? Well, you know if it's actually better or not by just seeing which you prefer. But yeah, I mean, set a filter for at 5 kilohertz about Q of 1 or 2, I think probably about 2, and take it down by 2 to 3 dB and just see which you prefer. I think for most people, it's going to be better with it taken down, but depending on your head, it might not.
Yeah, I think it should also be said that if you A/B versus the EQ engaged and not engaged, and you don't hear a difference, turn the EQ off. I don't think you need it.
Nightrise says, you missed me. Y'all coming to Dallas this year?
Probably
I don't
not.
think we're doing Dallas, no.
Yeah, I might still come just to hang out with my buddies, but yeah, I don't think headphones.com will be there in any official capacity.
All right. Next one
Any
here.
other questions we missed, guys? Feel free to shoot them out there again.
Is Para OG ad swap / review coming? No, because I don't have one, unfortunately.
Are they still selling that headphone, or is the Para?
I don't know. I was thinking about that. Like, it might just be that they have moved on to the 2, and then it's more expensive now because of things like tariffs. Maybe, right?
Could be.
Did you see the Space Travel 2 Ultra Squigs?
I did.
You did, okay. So they're saying Moondrop says they use JM1 as a target as a reference.
Mm-hmm. I think it was just a JM1 with a 10 decibel slope.
Yeah, I have a bit of an issue with this, like using JM1 target as a reference.
Okay, why?
Only because specifically with a 10 dB tilt.
Okay. Why?
Just because it's unclear to me if they understand what that is and how it's supposed to be used. Because if you look at the Space Travel ones, because they have in their EQ thing, JM1 as one of their preset options, doesn't sound like tilted JM1 to me.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's that big of a deal. I think.
Well, also we have tilted diffuse. We have data on how people rank tilted diffuse field for headphones, but not for this for JM1.
I feel like that's less important. Like, the perspective I'm coming at this from is that Moondrop doesn't hit their targets anyway.
Okay,
so
that's
fair. It really doesn't matter what they choose to print as the target on the box.
Yeah.
That said, I mean, the Space Travel 2 Ultra looks decent. Space Travel 2 was decent. So
yeah, we should be getting the Ultra, so we should be doing some comparison.
Yeah, I mean, you have the normal 2. You
just
don't
have right.
Craig Stark says, are you guys going to be doing 5128 tests at SoCal Can Jam? Unfortunately not. I think I'm going. I think Alan and Sam are going, but I don't think they're going like under headphones.com. I think
they are not
going.
Yeah, I think
Taryn
I
might
actually don't even know if Sam is going. I know Alan's going.
Yeah. Taryn and Andrew might. I don't think we're going to have a particularly big presence there this year.
Craig,
I most likely won't be going.
Craig, if you need to get something 5128'd, Vince from B&K will probably be there. He usually goes to the show and usually brings the 5128.
Yeah. But yeah, the reason why I'm not going is because they won't let me into the States. I will be in El Salvador.
Yes, my bribes have worked.
Are you guys sourcing talent to replace DMS? No, at the moment it's us and Caleb, a couple others doing written stuff as well. But no, I don't think there's any plans to bring anyone else on at the moment. Ours Game Tech says Zeus. I love Zeus. I don't think he'd be considered brand safe. Is the problem?
You know, the thing is, it was so fun hanging out with him in Munich, and when we did that, video,
it always is.
Like, I wish that I would love to bring Zeus on, right, as just like the voice of chaos, right, because it's just so much fun to do content with him, and yeah, man, like he's the perfect like antidote to, you know, the humdrum banality that is everything that I bring to the table. yeah. So having us in the same room together was great.
That was great. I'm glad you guys partnered up for that.
Yeah.
Grant K asks, any chance to get more industry people on the podcast? Really enjoyed the chat with Grell. I would like to do that.
Yeah.
I don't think we have any plans in the near future, but yeah, I mean, definitely nothing we would be opposed to.
Shay says, "Thank you. I know it's seeking confirmation that it's actually better is subjective. I appreciate all of you."
Appreciate you, Shay.
Squashed Out says, "Is there a way to see your guys' measurements? I know listeners and Mark have squig links, but I'd love to see some more of the ones that show the possible difference of how things sound head to head." Not at the moment. Stuff is being worked on.
Stuff is being worked on.
Yes. So more so in recent months as well.
In the spirit of giving back to the subscribers, I will give a little peek behind the curtain of what's being worked on right now. Nothing super secret here, but so we do have a dev currently working on our database, and we have a plan to bring it public. No promised time as of yet, but where we are right now is a kind of visual redesign, as well as a redesign of the data ingest, data display, and login function. So we've pretty much finished with the redesign of the login function so that it works more normally than it did for basically this whole time. Yeah, so we've re-engineered the data display so that it looks better and looks, well, not looks better, yes, looks better, but is also normalized in a way that makes more sense when you open the tool. Yeah, what we have down the pipe is a bunch of other stuff you're not going to see anywhere else. So stay tuned.
Yeah. We're optimistic about that at the moment.
Sorry, go ahead.
Sarah's take is funny. Z Reviews is kind of like hearing how my kid's day at school was. Very stream of conscious. Some rare golden nuggets of wisdom.
Oh my god, that is an incredible take, Sarah.
Yeah,
that is actually quite a good take. No, yeah, I love the Oath of Bits, and spending time with them is always so much fun. It would be fun. Oh dear. DHYBX says, this is a good question. What is your opinion on unit variation causing noticeable performance variation between units of the same model? Is this a legitimate issue for certain brands, and how would you correct or fix for this? This is something which really doesn't get talked about enough. And the answer is yes, absolutely. There are definitely certain brands which in the past or now have been more notorious for it. But quite frankly, just about every company has meaningful unit variation. Yeah, it's a thing. Different units of the same headphone will sound different. And it's impossible to avoid to some degree. Some companies like Sennheiser is probably the best example of companies which, even for some of their lower cost stuff, managed to get unit variation extremely tight. I mean, we've been to their factory and seen some of how they do that in person.
But it also depends on the design of the product too, because you can have products like the HD800 where that product's design also lends itself to being very consistent from a unit-to-unit basis. Whereas if you have other products that are, like, for example, really large, high diaphragm, high modal, planars, you're going to get a lot more variation there.
Yeah.
And headphones have really thick pads or something, that deform differently and whatever.
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be certain physical stuff like that where just the pad deformation or just the pad construction is going to cause unit-to-unit variation that can be pretty significant. But even then, there are some companies where just the drivers will be different,
Yes.
and in some cases by more than 2 different models from another manufacturer. In certain cases.
Another common problem is that things change sometimes on a run-to-run basis. So you can have, and like the companies that have been in business for a long time are like, this is a thing that will affect them. Or you'll notice this effect more because there are products that have been staying in the market for a very long time, right? So say they improve on a manufacturing efficiency somewhere, right? Or they gain some efficiency by changing out a material, whatever, right? They're often not at that moment wise to the effects that's going to have on production units down the line, and that only comes out after the fact. Or sometimes it's intentional, right? Something like, oh, well, maybe we'll change the pads on this because we feel it can make a whatever difference to the sound.
I won't say who it is because obviously this was in confidence, but I can say that I know of at least one manufacturer where they had just a change in supplier for a particular material or something, and basically the next batch of a particular model of headphones came out different enough that they sort of said we actually can't ship these as the same headphone, and they made a new model. They had not changed the design at all. I think they ended up changing the color or something. It was not meant to be a different headphone, and all of them are pretty consistent to each other within that batch. It's just that batch 1 was different enough from batch 2 that they released batch 2 as a different headphone.
Kind of the right thing to do if you're gonna.
That's the right move.
Yeah.
Absolutely, because there are companies which will just go, this is the 2021 or 2022 and then 2023, or just do silent revisions or silent batches that are different enough that it just creates confusion. There are definitely, that's the bad way to do it, because then people have concern and worry, or just won't get the same experience as what they tried at a show or at someone else's house or at a dealer or whatever. If something is different enough, making it clear to the customer is the good way to do it, I think. So I can't say who it is, but props to them for doing it. But
Okay, another question. Lachlan, I think is the pronunciation. JDB says, in your opinion, what headphones would be worthwhile to try or buy with better technicality, resolve, or detail coming from HD600?
HD800.
Definitely worth one.
I mean, not a joke.
Yeah. Yeah, for me, I feel like
I'm going to say Focal Clear.
Complement to it that is different, but not different enough that it is bad. Is the Sony MVR MV1?
Oh, I don't know about that.
GT.
Oh, Headphone 2 GT. I'm going to say Focal Clear, because some of those characteristics are kind of similar in terms of like the placement of the ear gain is similarly correct for the rise. There's a forwardness at around 1.5 kilohertz that's more on the clear, but they're both kind of a little bit more forward there, as opposed to many headphones that kind of dip there. They both have that kind of slight blooming lower frequency section. It's more pronounced on the clear again, so it's like similar but in different ways to what Griffin's description of the GT Headphone 2 GT was in comparison. It's like you've just increased the contrast on an HD650, and that's kind of what you get. Oh, OG, not the MG. The MG, well, I don't know. It depends on the person, right? There. So, yeah.
Someone's just saying, just unit roll a dozen Sesvaras. Shake my head. Actually, Sesvara is one of the few units where over time they seem to have been able to keep things very consistent. Just like of the
main difference I see across units is in that like 3 to 5 kilohertz band, where I think the resonance frequency of the driver is causing basically all of the difference you see.
Yeah, but even then, it's overall just a lot more similar from unit to unit than many other headphones, including from Hi-Fi-Man themselves. Hi-Fi-Man does a really good job with driver matching. Generally, they seem to be.
Well, yeah, but you're going to end up having problems because of the highly modal nature of those diaphragms. So it's going to be a problem. Like no matter what, I think it's going to be a problem.
Yeah. Real quick one. Nightright says, do you recommend doing the jumper mod on the Synxer SA1V1? No, because it makes basically no difference. It literally just changes stuff below like 10 hertz and then puts your headphones at risk. So I would not recommend doing it. Also,
RS Game Tech asks, any suggestions on good books, articles, or video training courses for all things audio in relation to things like frequency response, target curves, or the use of measurement software? So actually, the two main things that I feel like would cover a lot of ground here are obviously the Harman work. As much of it as you can get.
Sound
yeah,
reproduction.
Sound reproduction is great. It's not all that relevant to headphones, but there's a lot of foundation there that is laid for the nature of evaluating sound quality and testing it to begin with.
Aalborg University design criteria for headphones.
Yeah, a good paper.
Yeah, that's
absolutely. I think definitely read the Harman work after that because
this is sort of a chronological
from that 1995 paper were definitely
Gunter Tyler on
the standardization of high quality studio headphones, another great paper that again had its work expanded on in later papers. But actually I would say underrated resource is the manual for Room EQ Wizard. A lot of really good information and concise explanation of things like impulse response and the nature of frequency response as a measurement and how these tools are, or I guess how these measures are derived and what they are useful for. Great rated resource there. So definitely check that out as well.
And for anything speaker related, Sound Reproduction by Floyd Tool is kind of the go-to. That's less headphone stuff, but excellent resource.
BH says, really thinking about the Kali HP1. Are you going to do a review of them? Yes. So Andrew has a unit of those right now. I don't know what the content is going to look like, if it's going to be a full review or just like a small impressions thing.
We'll do a video.
One being sent to me too. It hasn't arrived yet, so I don't really know, and they didn't give me a tracking number, so I don't know where it is. But
stay tuned for that one.
Yeah. Brian Olson asks, any opinion on the Campfire Astrolith IEM? That thing is wonky as hell, man. Yeah, not a fan of the kind of Campfire ultra mid bass dipped ear gain kind of rocky treble kind of thing. Yeah.
Charlie, Genelec headphone review when? That was trying to be arranged.
That was supposed to happen. I don't know. I know you probably were in contact with them most recently, Cameron. But
I'm still trying to get these Genelecs in as well.
Yeah.
Although recently it's been a FedEx screw up, but I can't go to the depot and collect them because Genelec hasn't given me the tracking number, so I don't even know what to go and get. Yeah, no, Genelec's quite a big company, and it's hard to get through to the right people in a timely
that's
fashion.
the thing. Genelec is a big company, and their market is not us. So they don't like it's not audiophiles, so they don't need us to market their product to audiophiles. They're going to do just fine. So I think that kind of colors the way they handled it. We're just some audiophiles who are interested in it for nerdy reasons.
Took me like a year to realize that fast bass sometimes equals less bass.
Welcome, brother.
Based take.
Based. That was in response to a question. I'm new to the hobby. Is there a way I can know if an IM can produce a fast bass response before buying it? I'm looking for something that is able to clearly define fast double kicks. So the thing is that there isn't really such a thing as a fast bass response, because fast implies high speed, high frequency, i.e.
low frequencies, more like slow frequencies. Am I right?
Exactly. From a subjective standpoint, it's kind of a mix of two things, being less so the level of bass. You don't just want something that is bassy, but rather something, at least from mine and Andrew's experience in particular, something that is more focused on the sub bass rather than
disagree.
Really?
Yeah. So I think that the reason why people just are super into the bass for the Odyssey LCD4 and stuff like that is in large part because that bass is more linear. And it happens to just be elevated over everything else, right? Like if you were to compensate it to DF or something like that, it's just like a lot more of it for a lot longer, and that bass is more linear. And then also the fact that you can turn that up like crazy, right? So you're getting all those kind of qualities. You're getting the tighter, again, faster bass with more of that hardness in the low mid section being at the same level, the same SPL, and you can turn that up like crazy. So I think that's really the characterization.
I'd also say that the thing that people, I think, don't pay attention to enough here is the treble, because if you've got a particularly dark treble, so stuff past like 4 kilohertz or whatever, then you're not going to get the faster leading edge stuff as much. It sounds a little bit more dull, muffled, whatever. So you want a mix of sort of a nice bass profile and a meaningful amount of hopefully decently profiled upper treble.
Yeah, but no,
because that's where the transient element of a lot of drum hits comes from.
Cameron, the reason why I have a I like headphones that have a distinct bass profile as well, like a distinct shelf. But the reason why I attach concepts of like speed and dynamism and attack and all that kind of stuff to headphones that have more linear bass is particularly because when you have a massive bass sub bass focused shelf, that creates the.
Oh, that's why I'm not talking about a shelf. I'm explicitly saying don't look for just a shelf, because I personally, anyway, I don't find that gives you that actual sort of fast.
You can have a rise into the sub bass, right? Like that's not going to be a detrimental thing necessarily. I just mean like if the sub bass is overshadowing much of the rest of that sort of hardness and the attack and the
yes,
all that kind of stuff that you get in that sort of like upper bass low frequency section, it's going to obscure it, and that's why having a more linear response there is probably going to yield this quality more.
Yeah.
Joshua Park says on this topic.
Wait, I wanted to give my take on this.
Oh, okay, go for it.
Let me. So I think for this, I definitely trend more towards Andrew's side of things. When it comes to non-drums, based instruments basically just don't have much going on above 3K, and I feel like the bass responses that I feel are the fastest are the ones that are not bass boosted at all, just kind of a linear transition from sub bass all the way up to like 1 kilohertz.
Yeah.
And when I say linear, I mean like relative to DF, so actually slightly upsloping, which is fairly common in like Odyssey's designs, the Moondrop Cosmo.
Because the rest of the tuning is so dark or whatever, right? You're actually just more the sound's more focused towards the lower frequency stuff.
Yeah, the thing is, if you just tuned the whole headphone to flat diffuse field, it would sound fast, but you also wouldn't be able to listen very loud. It'd be quite harsh. So what Hi-Fi Man, for example, does is they dip pretty soon right after 1 kilohertz, and it actually, the overall tilt is a little bit warmer than diffuse field, so it doesn't actually rise into that 800 hertz area. It's just kind of flat from 20 hertz all the way up to 1 kilohertz. So there are ways to do that actually don't sound all that fast. Like the Hi-Fi Man designs really don't sound fast in the bass to me. If anything, they sound a little bit slow because the mid-range tilt is actually a little bit warm, whereas things like the HE6, which is kind of their most different in terms of its mid-range presentation, because it has that kind of 1 kilohertz forwardness and that more like rise generally up into the ear gain.
Also, if you have breaking the seal for that headphone, the resonance frequency is so low that's going to boost.
You also get a bass boost. Yeah. But I'm just talking about speed here.
Right.
I think
I mean, that's the other side of the question is what do you actually prefer, right?
Sorry, what?
The other side of the question is what do you actually prefer, right? Like
well, it sounds like they want something fast. And to be frank, like the way this conversation started is what IEM can I get that has fast bass? And honestly, there aren't going to be many because most companies are tuning a lot of bass into their IEMs.
Yes.
So I would say of ones that have come out recently that look like they would do that, the Electro Mystic 8 might be a good option, because that I know is kind of on the more reserved side in terms of its bass profile. It has a slight, I think, 1 kilohertz emphasis. But yeah, I would say for kind of less bassy option, that's one of the ones people are seeming to like quite a bit. I don't really have any other recommendations. If you want to try like the old Eddie-Matic IEMs that don't have XR in their name, those certainly have fast bass, but it's because they have a like very flat, unboosted bass profile, sometimes a roll off, and then some forwardness, quite a bit of forwardness in the upper mid range that really tilts it towards speed.
Okay.
Sometimes a bit of a bump around 80 or so hertz also can help with that sort of perceived kick, just because the fundamentals of a lot of drums and stuff can fall around there. So that can make things sound a little punchier.
Where is Precog? Precog is busy having a life. Precog is has made it out of the audiophile.
Oh no, he still reviews stuff from time to time.
Oh yeah, he just posted what am I saying? He just posted 3 reviews or something like that, or I think 3 videos or something like that. But Sarah,
what? I missed it.
He just she just said Precog is busy hating on Pure, which that IM is not for that, man. Jesus Christ. Yeah, my enemy in treble extension.
All right, next.
Yeah, looking for one.
Oh, my brother is still happy with the KSC 75 and KPH 30i and feels no desire to go to CanJam. I'm jealous. The rabbit hole is deep. So, interestingly, when I was at CanJam, I want to say SoCal last year, the guys from ETA had me try one of their on-ears, and I didn't hate it.
It doesn't surprise me. ETA stuff is typically reasonably tuned. My biggest problem in the past has been comfort with their on-ear designs, but if
this was one specifically with the comfort I didn't hate, which is rare for me for on-ears. I forget the name of the one that I like though.
James Berryman is asking, what would an upgrade from the Sennheiser 490 Pro be?
This.
Considering I don't really like the 490 Pro and I don't really like that headphone, that probably checks out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Have you guys considered becoming mastering engineers? No, don't want to do that.
I mean, I considered it in the past.
Even if you consider yourself to have a good ear, that doesn't necessarily mean that. I don't get me wrong; it's a very good job, but it's obviously very different to what we do. I don't think that necessarily working on other people's music as well all the time is what I would want to be doing. I don't know if the same is true for you guys. It's besides listening to music critically, it's pretty different.
Mastering is the one part of that, because I had done everything from tracking all the way up to mixing, so everything from arrangement and writing the music all the way up to mixing. Mastering is the one part I had never really dipped my toes in, but I actually think in some ways it is the most similar to just being an audiophile and playing with EQ.
Probably.
Well, people they didn't like my perspective on people should stop buying studio headphones because it's not really good for any of the usage that you would want in that environment. And I think that's that sort of holds here as well though. What? Oh. I guess the bigger issue for me is with that is always people aren't necessarily, in the vast majority of cases, people aren't necessarily using them in that way anyways. They're buying them because they think this is what reference sound should be, right? That's and that's the problem.
So the first place I ever wrote reviews was this website called Pro Audio Times, run by a friend of mine named Alex. Shouts out to Alex. I don't know if he watches this program, but he was just someone who lived in my neighborhood in Queens at the time, and he was a mastering engineer. And I had gone to his place one time.
Camera off.
Wait, what? That's really good. Mastering seems fun. This dude was a total audiophile, had a bunch of rack gear made for audiophiles, not for mastering, and had a bunch of audiophile headphones and audiophile speakers. I don't know. I'd like to try mastering. I feel like the reason I didn't get into it when I was working in this field was that it seemed like the most nebulous and kind of like impenetrable in terms of knowing what they're actually doing. Like it seems like with mastering engineer, it's kind of like the ultra high end audio files where they have a bunch of magic boxes that do things that may or may not be happening. But they get paid well, and it is probably like, I don't want to say the easiest, but the least intensive and like I don't know, maybe not time consuming, but like you have to spin the least plates, I guess. It's just you're working at the end of the chain after everything's already been done, so there's only so much you can do. I'd be interested to try.
James, it's the composer. I said it in the chat. Luis Oliveira, thank you for all the reviews. I love being blown away listening to entry IEMs like the Wanner 2. I decided to go all in with Zero Red, Hexa, FIO FT1, Edition XS, FIO BTR 15, QLux alternative. Any thoughts? It's just like gone down the list of our value recommendations. Like most of those are in there, no? I think this is good. You're mining the value of this space. Now you just need an HD 600 or HD 550 and it will be complete.
I do find that with mastering, the thing is that like when people say like, oh, EQ, ruins sound or degrade sound quality and stuff, it's like, that's like going on in everything you're listening to, right? Like
yeah.
It's just a question of whether you're doing it or someone else is doing it.
That is a take that is very easy to refute. And because of that take basically no longer exists in the spaces I am in, at least.
Well, so we sometimes see it crop up in our forum, and then we have to quickly, address.
Yeah. Oh, I never see it in the forum.
I think I can't remember where we talked about it, but a lot of it I really still think comes from a lot of the auto EQ stuff. People try that, don't get good results, and go, "Oh, EQ messes up the sound." It's like, well, your sound is being messed up, but it's not because of EQ. It's because the EQ that you're applying is actually bad in ways that are not particularly obvious to particularly newer people.
And also, I mean, you have issues of SPL not SPL matching your EQs, and sometimes that can cause subjective preferences one way or the other. So people think, oh, it's ruining my technicalities or degrading my technicalities, but it's just a difference in SPL.
Yeah. Learning to EQ properly is a very valuable thing.
We should do a video on it.
We should do
many videos on it.
Yeah.
I really just want to do one like why auto EQ is bad generally. I think it's the fact that it's becoming more prevalent. The Luxon X9, that was one, which I did a review on and sort of complained about the headphone correction profiles, because whilst you can do manual EQ on it, you have to get the app and configure it there. If you want to just do it on the device, you can only pick certain headphones and then pick the target you want to correct to. But the problem is that pretty much no matter what you pick, it's not actually going to be correcting it to that. Many of the measurements and targets are incompatible in the first place. And then there's HPTF and HRTF variation. There's just a lot of problems.
Acoustic impedance.
And the end result is you're not going to get a good result with pretty much any of these automatic ones. Well, I think you kind of said it best. It can make a terrible headphone sound less terrible. It's not going to make a good headphone sound great.
Yeah. I do think you can take a lot of that's the core function of these automatic or programmatic methods of EQ and even like Oratory's profiles, which I think are better. They take a lot of headphones that are really weird sounding and make them sound normal, and make them sound more good. But they don't. People can't have the confidence that that's great because sound can still be better if it is done better.
And whatever you do, please do not pay hundreds of euros for a headphone convolution filter.
I looked at that accurate sound thing yesterday. Oh my god!
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. It's wild to me that like it's always the high end audiophiles who are like, oh no, normal EQ is going to destroy my
this convolution.
This is going to help.
Now, but the thing is,
this one costs more money. So it's good.
Well, there you go. If it costs money, it's better. It's fine. Yeah, the convolution does make sense if you're putting it onto certain types of devices, right? Like I can see a reason for going for one method over another. But as
Like
far
for
as
room correction, it makes loads of sense.
yeah, but as far as like it's just a mathematical thing, right? So as far as like a regular person using it, in practice no different, right? You can use any way of doing
Yeah.
this, equalizer, APO, whatever, right?
Yeah, if the
Yeah, I mean,
behavior on the person's head was known to the extent that would necessitate extremely narrow band precise filtering, then a convolution would make sense. But no one has this information about the behavior of the headphone on their heads, so this precision is simply not warranted.
Oh, what are the free Mac EQ options, Craig?
The free Mac EQ?
Yeah, he says there are now some nice Mac EQ options free.
Free? I only know of EQ Mac and the
But
basic
isn't
and
there
the basic
paid
and
version?
advanced versions, which are I think the like basic and middle versions of it, which are both free, are both bad. Like they actively have mislabeled both the frequency and gain that the filters work at.
Mhm.
So I would just avoid those. And I haven't bought the pro version, so I don't know. It looks a lot better, but I assume not.
I am surprised that there aren't better EQ tools available. That's one of the main kind of reasons why I get more excited when DACs have this stuff built in. It's not that the DAC needs to have it built in. It shouldn't. You should just be able to have a proper tool on the PC. But the problem is that EQ APO isn't technically bit perfect, which is a minor issue. But the bigger issue is just that the UI kind of sucks. Like
you have different UIs that you can use, like Peace and whatever else if you want to.
Yeah, but those suck too. I mean, like you'd use those, and then you use Rune.
It's not as good as Rune.
Yeah,
Rune's
one or something
Rune's
like that,
better.
and they're all just so much nicer. And I'm just like, why has no one made something that is this pretty and nice and easy to use?
I mean, they did. It's just not free.
Yeah,
Sound Source is just $40. So,
right.
Yeah. Craig says Camilla DSP and Wisdom. I'm not familiar with those.
Camilla DSP.
Wisdom Analyzer. Worth looking into. I do know that there are some EQ tools like Wavelet on Android and stuff like that are just not good. Like they don't. I think Griffin, you looked into Wavelet and found that the filters don't have. It's something to do with the filters not having corresponding Q values to what it's indicating.
Yeah, both the Q value and the gain is weird on Wavelet. Yeah. Like with the graphic EQ thing, there was just enough of a disconnect between the results you would get with a typical parametric EQ and those results translated into a Wavelet preset that
something's weird with the math there. Yeah.
I mean, Android does have other options though. I think some of them might be paid, but they're probably very inexpensive.
Yeah. Should I get a high sensor HD550 or Clisix HD600?
Oh, I answered that one.
Okay.
HD600 is what I said because he said he was going to be listening to like classical orchestral music, and I think
Aria Stealth would be fine for that too.
I mean, it's Charlie's different price range, but okay.
Not really. Aria Stealth. If you're buying new,
350 to 550 is
but HD 550 new is like 450.
It's 350.
New is 550. HD 600 new.
HD 600 new is $300 on Amazon. HD 550 is $350.
Sorry. No, not on sale. I mean, not new versus used. I mean, on sale versus MSRP.
I still think
I've just got a
500 for HD 600.
Charlie, in regards to the accurate sound preset stuff, is what you're paying for is a proper mix engineer's tuning. No. He talks about his methodology himself. It's basically he's using like just in-ear mics, puts the headphones on his head, measures them, and then generates a convolution filter to try and correct that to flat. And there's a lot of problems with that, starting with the result that you get on your head is not going to be the same result that he gets on his head. The result that he gets with different headphones is not going to be the same. In fact, you can actually test this. You can get measurements or measure two headphones yourself, apply his convolution filters to both, and you don't get a flat response on either. It goes up to 7 kilohertz to try and avoid some of the really high frequency scrungle. But as we've seen, there is still a lot of significant variation between listeners, up to 7 kilohertz as well. Like for some people, those presets might work, but you shouldn't be paying hundreds of euros for them.
There's also
and
an even bigger, kind of simpler issue is that where he's measuring eliminates canal gain. So EQing to flat on that microphone means you're getting a very big ear gain reduction. Which might be fine for some people, but it's basically going to be, he's tuning basically all of his things to like the Odyssey house sound.
Yeah, so this is just paying money to have EQ done incorrectly.
Yeah,
unfortunately, yes, pretty much. Like, and then there's other things like he advertises how it corrects the phase response more accurately than EQ does, which is not true. If you EQ your headphones in a particular way and then do a minimum phase convolution, which is what his ones are doing, you get exactly the same result. Yeah, like if you like the sound of it, that's great, but you can also literally just do the same EQ yourself.
Eminent One says best purchase of my life was accurate sound convolution filter.
Yeah, that's what I was
trolling.
So no,
I
he's
can't
not. He did buy that and
did
does
he actually
and does enjoy it. He uses it for his
God.
LCD5, and it turns his LCD5 into something more like an LCD4. To be clear, this is based.
So that could be better.
LCD4 is a better sounding headphone. But yeah. So I was actually I don't know if you can see it right there on my desk. I have the MM500 sitting right there.
Mm-hmm.
I was playing around with that and kind of finding my ideal EQ for it, and it ends up just looking like LCD4. Like it ends up just just cutting the ear gain and upper treble a little bit. Just it's all it needs.
After seeing that for the video that's coming out tomorrow, if it's coming out tomorrow, after seeing that Takstar, that's what that you liked. That's like, holy shit, you really don't like treble.
Yeah.
Wait, which one's going out tomorrow?
The one about the I guess teaser for the audience. Tomorrow's video is going to be about the best measuring headphones that sound bad and the worst measuring headphones that sound good.
That one.
Oh, that one's going out tomorrow. Okay.
Yeah. To be clear, the one we're talking about right now doesn't sound good. I just don't hate it nearly as much as you would think from looking at a measurement.
That was. I'm interested to see the reactions to that video. That one's
interesting. It's gonna be so good. Okay, more questions.
Have any of you guys tracked the total amount spent on audio since the start?
Yeah, I have actually. I have a list for that. Let me see.
I started a spreadsheet that got scared and stopped.
Yeah, mine is called my cope sheet. Yeah, it's my audio cope sheet.
Everybody needs to have a cope sheet.
Right now, I am only $821 in the hole.
That's insane.
You've been able to resell the
stuff
you bought, yeah.
Well, if you think about it, like the only things I have kept that are audio related are my HD 800, which I spent $650 on, and my 6XX.
There you go.
Because the thing is, I have a rule against selling review units because personally I think that is literally just getting paid by the manufacturer with an extra step, and I think it's a practice that reviewers should not do. But sometimes, one of the perks of being a reviewer is that companies will say, like, hey, it's expensive for us to ship this back, it's not worth it, do you want to just buy it for some crazy discount? And so sometimes I'll do that.
That has happened.
I can't then resell it, so it just then either once I stop using it, just sits on the shelf forever. And that's stacked up a bit. I have not recently totted up how much I've spent. I don't want to.
Yeah, I mean, look, if I were at all interested in like high-end systems, I would not have this sheet because it would be an emotional toll taken on myself.
But I started totting up just the speaker system, and that was a little scary.
Yeah, if I include the speakers, then it's probably in the several thousand range.
Shit. Oris just reminded me that I'm missing some things on this list. I don't have the AirPods Pro 2 or the QDelix 5K. The QDelix 5K was actually a gift from my partner, though. I didn't spend any money on that. But so I'm technically over $1,000 then because I spent $200 on.
Did you also buy the lenses?
I returned it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Amazon.
Got it.
How much is a 555B? I paid £35,000 for my one, so not cheap, unfortunately. because they don't do discounts ever. Oh, actually, no, that's not true. I paid £35,000. Then I had to pay an extra nearly £3,000 for software upgrades, including just to make it work. I'm going to write about this. I paid a lot of money for an extended warranty on the analyzer because the last thing I want is for it to break and then be in debt. And about a year after I got it, it stopped working. Like the software just no longer works. And they said, oh yeah, the older versions of software don't work with like the recent Windows update that happens. So if you want it to work, you need to pay £1,500, I think it was, for the software upgrade. I was like, okay, well, hang on. I don't need any of the features that are in the new software. It's all like acoustic speaker measurement related stuff. It's literally, I need it to, I need the thing I paid for to function. I think this is a warranty issue. And like, nah, you got to buy the new software, man. Sorry, there's nothing we can do. I had to pay an enormous amount of money for a software upgrade I did not need to have it work.
And isn't
and
it
I'm
that
still
they also
very annoyed about that?
Isn't it also that they don't work on AMD systems for some reason?
Oh yeah, I had an AMD based computer, and it just did, like, the USB connection would not stay. After 30 seconds, it would just disconnect. I tried several different PCs, and then the only Intel like basic laptop I had worked. So then I swapped my main PC to Intel, and now it works fine. So now, even though I don't want to be using an Intel based PC, I have to, because it's the only thing that works with the analyzer. Is it basically getting DLC? Yeah, pretty much. This is why companies still keep Windows XP computers. Yes, unironically, yeah. And there's still ATMs and stuff that run on Windows XP, which is a little terrifying, but
yeah. All right, let's do. Should we do spicy times? Peppers? Should we keep doing
do we still have
spicy or not? Just good questions.
Yeah, we can do purchase advice questions still.
We are here for you guys. So whatever y'all want us to do, we will do within reason.
No, even beyond all reason.
Is there a standardized Q value?
Not as in like a default value, but
there's
like a value of 1 should equal
spacing
a value of 1.
is 1.41.
1.41 is the one that's always on as the I guess standard one, but a period GSC versus pure.
Yeah, that's what I'm laughing at. It's such a stupid question.
See, I go period GSC. I don't know. Like this to me, this
I
counters.
absolutely do not.
I know you don't.
G asks if I've tried the Awful Explorer. No. Mark Ryan, my goat, actually sent it to me. It's on its way. So
Awful
I'm really excited to hear that.
Sounds like the headphone and IEM industry. If you're Awful Explorer, you're just going into
favorite album you've listened to from this year? Question for all of you.
Okay.
I have to check which ones actually
from
came
2025
out
specifically.
Year. Yes, from 2025.
Ooh. Reliquary by Reed Willis. The song, just go listen to the track Diamond Splitter. It's, if you're into electronic music at all, Reed Willis is, as like, classically trained musician that got really into electronic music stuff. And if you go and read his bio, it's like, I did a master's in this and a PhD in this, then I did work experience. He has like a PhD in slam. It's his production is slam incredible. Yeah, basically. His Reed Willis's new Reliquary album is great. The new Go-Go Penguin album is really good too. Go-Go Penguin
Go-Go Penguin's good stuff. I'm trying to think what for this year specifically is challenging. Like, oh shit, there's a new Tingval Trio album. Oh damn. Time to get to some music listening after this.
I think for me, it's probably going to be the new Wet Leg album. Actually,
I hate the name of that group, that artist.
Like I think it's all women or maybe just female fronted British punk group. Great recordings. Yeah. Good songs. I think a lot of the things I've liked from this year actually came out last year.
Same.
Oh, actually, no.
2024.
I'm gonna make that Wet Leg record take a back seat. My favorite record from this year is called Luminescent Creatures by Ichiko Aoba. It's like a very textured, naturalistic ambient record. Yeah, I don't really know how to describe that record other than it looks exactly like the album art, or it sounds exactly like the album art. So Luminescent Creatures.
That's always fun.
Ichiko Aoba is one of my favorites. But honestly, I think my two most listened albums of this year are probably from last year. Shinbangumi by Ginger Root and A Dream Is All We Know by the Lemon Twigs are my two most listened to records this year.
So for me,
how do you guys feel about AI generated music? No.
Ooh.
Terrible, except in one circumstance. There's only one time when it's good.
Yeah, when Rob makes it.
No, actually, that is Rob, I love you, but that is some of the most cursed shit.
No, it's so good. It's so good.
No, the only time it's good is Mark's outro song.
Oh, Mark's outro song is good. Yeah. No, the Rob's are great. I will stand.
Great is,
objectively great.
Is a value judgment that
the one he did about Sean Olive and going to Can Jam. No, my album, favorite album for 2025 specifically is probably the one from Adam Baldich, Portraits.
That's really good. Plus one to that.
Yeah, really well recorded. I mean, like, regardless of how you feel about the music, it's really well recorded.
Yeah. I feel like that's like such an audiophile answer, though. It's like,
yes.
This is just music for me to evaluate how much.
I don't give a fuck what anybody else thinks.
Detail I get.
Yeah, I want to hear all my textures.
The Go-Go Penguin stuff's interesting because it's not that amazingly recorded. It's just really good music.
Yeah, it's
so
fun.
The opposite for me.
Yeah,
it's fun. It's fun jazz.
Yeah, I would say the one that I've listened to the most is probably also from 2024. It's Last Will and Testament from Opeth. But I don't love the album. I'll just put it that way. But also I don't like Steven Wilson's record from this year. It doesn't do it for me.
Yeah, I'm kind of on the same boat, to be honest.
Like he kind of ebbs and flows. He ticks and talks, and this one is a talk for me. It's not a tick.
Spotify sort of dragging the HD thing out. Will they ever have FLAC or something that is on par with it? It's been
we're literally going to get
years.
Another one that I've really enjoyed from, again, 2024, but technically within the year, Exil from Neo Obliviscaris, for anybody who wants to get into some weird shit.
What I don't know if either of you guys know this guy. What do you guys think of Wave Theory? Only found him recently. Does some comprehensive reviews.
I know him. I met him at Can Jam New York.
Yeah, no, I met him at New York too. Nice guy. I wouldn't say I agree with his taste, but I think his takes are generally coherent in that his taste is consistent.
Well, the only thing that I really disagree with him about is the cable stuff. I know he's a cables guy, and I'm like, nope, that's not gonna.
Yeah, I think he also might be. Well, I think because his taste is different, he also tends to be a little bit more, definitely not price biased, but I think he finds more value in the high end things than I do typically.
Wilson peaked in Hand Cannot Erase and Raven era. I agree.
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone would acknowledge that.
Scullion asks, best worst piece of audio related furniture. I have an interesting one. So the stereotypical answer here is the Ames
stereotypical
chair.
Yeah, literally stereotypical, typical stereo chair is the Ames lounge chair.
Ames or Eames?
I think it's technically pronounced Ames, but I could be wrong. But I've got like a knockoff one. It's actually genuinely really ideal, not just because it's comfy, but because your head is like completely unobstructed. So when you're listening to speakers and stuff, you don't have any, stuff right here affecting the actual sound. So from an acoustics perspective, it's actually pretty ideal, as well as being comfy.
What is that chair that you're on right now?
This some Amazon Yongling Salau special thing. I don't know. I really don't know.
Is it comfortable?
Fairly. Yeah, it's all right.
I struggle.
I need to get a better desk chair, to be honest, because like I've gone through several desk chairs, and I can't, because they all just eventually break, and I really should just bite the bullet and buy like a proper one. But
I've been
Jesus
struggling
Christ, you
to
can
find
spend a
anything.
lot on chairs. Good
You
Lord.
can. I've been going down that rabbit hole because this Aeron has been systematically destroying my back over the years.
Oh, really?
And, yeah, it doesn't lum me in the right spot.
You can get different sizes of that one. I know
You can,
yours was
yeah. This is
that
the large.
different. Apparently, the Embody is genuinely really good, but
just the
yeah,
Logitech
they're
one.
just like $1,000 or something. It's
$2,000. $2,000.
Yeah, I'm about to start investing in my desk setup because I think I've said it on the program before. I'm usually like a sit with my couch or sit with my laptop on the couch kind of listener. But recently I've been trying to use my desk more and I've actually been enjoying it, but I'm just limited by the size and my chair.
Get a
kind of
standing desk.
funking.
Get a
Yeah, I'm gonna get a flexi spot.
has to
and
be.
nicer.
Yeah.
I have a
No, I don't know. I would not get
shill.
flexi spot. They're kind of shitty.
I'm on one right now. I actually quite like it.
Oh, you like it? Okay.
This is my partner's desk that I'm sitting at.
Oh,
right
okay.
now.
I'm using this desk called the Arosi Arena, which is
I've
like a
heard of
gaming
those.
desk.
Yeah.
It's great because you get 3 like in-desk spots to mount monitor arms. So my monitors, even though they're massive, take up literally 0 space on the desk and they don't have to be mounted to the edge. You get a full surface mouse mat, which is great for just like you can put down whatever you want, headphones and stuff, and never need to worry about scratching them or anything. It's huge. The curve means that like
wait, the mouse mat is integrated into the desk?
No. It's cut exactly to fit the shape of the desk, even though it's a slightly unusual shape.
Okay.
And it's a good mouse mat. And it's huge. It's genuinely a great desk. Cable management stuff on the bottom. Ignore the like gaming stuff. Just a super solid desk. I bought 2 of them already because they're great. I'm actually running another one here for my measurement setup. Yeah,
I need to get something like that because I just recently got like a cheap standing desk for to do my B-roll, and it's been a game changer for that because if I want the product to be closer to the camera, I can just push a button and up it goes, and I don't need to worry about changing the the C stand or anything like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Heavenly says the knockoff replicas of the AIMs are ridiculously good value in comparison to the actual one. Yeah, I got a knockoff one. You can get knockoff ones pretty safely because the design patent expired. So other companies are just allowed to make that design now, which is why there are actually good quality replicas available. Because the original one's like thousands. It's stupid. Don't buy a real one.
Yeah.
Sorry, someone asked question. Where was it? Which headphone would you recommend for around $300-$400 if the genre is techno, hip hop, and older rock? I like it a bit analytical when it comes to rock.
Which headphone?
I probably
want something slightly more analytical.
HD 550.
We're just going to repeat the same like.
I'd probably say MDR MV1 honestly if techno and hip hop are in the mix.
But that's not under the price range, or is it?
It's $400.
Okay. Yeah, MV. Well, it depends on how that 6K peak shows up for people.
So the reason is like when I did that 3 headphones 1 song thing, MDR MV1 took it. It was just really fun and electrifying for rock and didn't sound.
Yeah, I'm just saying it
crazy
depends on
bassy or
how that
anything like
6 kilohertz peak is going to propagate for people.
Yeah, I mean the 6 kilohertz peak is definitely there for me. It's just the 7 kilohertz is not.
What is your favorite headphone of all? Favorite headphone of all? I would probably say Sennheiser HE1 with EQ.
Okay, no EQ. What is your answer?
No EQ. Campfire Cascade.
He's lying.
Andrew and 6K peaks. No more iconic duo. Well, certainly with IEMs. Right? I don't know. No EQ. Favorite headphone of all. Maybe Sysvara, but I like more bass than the Sysvara has.
Sysvara, I'm kind of with you on the Sysvara in terms of getting for the like broad spectrum closest. I would just add a bass shelf to it.
Yeah, something like that.
Most of the headphones I want EQ treble stuff quite a lot.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, HE500. That's it. Done. Favorite headphone of all.
So basically, this whole journey of yours has just been a waste of time.
Oh yeah, it has. No, but that headphone was ergonomically cursed beyond belief, right? Like I genuinely can't believe that they released a product that was that uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But for sound, yeah, it's that. LCD4 for you, yeah. Thoughts on the HD666?
Is the Aria Stealth really a good bargain with its current pricing? I would say yes. I think that at that price, it's an excellent headphone.
Yes.
And I did confirm recently they are still in production. Like, they're not just getting rid of old stock or anything. They are still making them. So presumably it's going to continue selling at that price for a while, which is interesting.
Yeah, sorry, I was just going to say sorry, continue what you're saying.
Yeah, just at that price, like, I think that's really excellent value. It's a headphone I like a lot.
For what it does, it is the best value for that kind of sound. I think, like, if there was a headphone that I were to buy today, what headphone would that be? Right, that is currently available on the market, and if it were just for myself and I didn't have this job, I'd probably get an HD 550. And the reason is, like technically I would say HD 600, but the HD 550 has less clamp, so I'd probably get the HD 550.
Go full egg. What is going on?
Context. Funellis asks, what is Cameron's workout routine? Why is Griffin's beard growing on and off? And will Resolve ever shave his beard and go full egg? I'll answer my part of that. Do you know how beards work? Because facial hair, you remove it and then it comes back.
No. See, that's incorrect. If at least for me, when I concentrate really hard, it grows, right? And if I
so there's no gym.
I'm so jealous. Cameron, we should swap apartments.
Swap. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's not really any gyms or anything within accessible. I used to go climbing a lot. Climbing I do enjoy, but now the climbing center is just too far away. So yeah, I bought myself a rowing machine because that's a pretty good sort of mostly all body, bit of cardio, bit of resistance stuff as just one machine to have in your home that's going to get you the most benefit. It's kind of one of the ideal choices. And then it just folds up and sits against the wall, so it doesn't take up loads of space either.
Yeah.
Sick.
And my answer to that is I never actually lost my hair. It's just that it just rearranged a little bit, so now it's here. No, like I feel like if you do shave your head, you need to add a little bit of something, some sort of contrast to your face. I recently bought these glasses because I was kind of hoping that they would do that, but I kind of don't like the shape of the glasses. Like they're a little bit angled upwards. It's not my favorite, but
I only noticed now that you've mentioned it.
Now that I mentioned it, but then now you notice it. Now it's like, oh, it is
slightly.
I wish I could grow a proper beard. I just can't, which is a shame because I know I'm going to lose my hair at some point. And so I'm not going to be able to have a beard, not a good one anyway.
I technically still have hair, just so you know. Like it's just there's the typical sort of loss pattern that you get. So I'm just like,
mine's going that way. I don't know how much time I've got left, but make the most of it whilst I can.
What do you use to shave your head? A razor?
I don't want to be rude, but I also saw what you would look like, Andrew, with no beard because of the MRI scan.
Oh my god!
Yeah, I forgot about that.
And it was
no beard and no eyebrows.
No hair at all. You looked like Baron Harkonnen.
Yeah, my Arrakis, my dude. Yeah, that was a little scary seeing that actually.
Yeah, no, seeing all of us without hair was weird. I look like a fucking bird.
These are not on. I had that thought too. It's like these do I thought maybe these look like ladies' glasses, but then they say M on the side, so they're definitely not.
I almost wonder if
just
I need
upside down and it says W.
Scan done again because I've lost a ton of weight since the last time, so my HRTF is going to be different. Hit Craig up, get a refresh, see how.
Oh yeah,
I wonder.
Yeah. Well, no. Your ear geometry on the inside shouldn't be different, and your outer ear geometry
not on the inside, no, but
But you never did your
that bit's all different.
Yeah, but you never did your HRTF before. So
no, but I just mean like whatever results we get from the MRI scans and stuff. That
you would need a rescan.
You think so?
I might genuinely ask Craig about it whilst I'm in SoCal
for the rest of the bit. Yeah,
because for those watching, we're doing some interesting stuff at the moment in terms of getting HRTFs characterized, getting some more accurate in situ on headphone measurements. And so I'm hopefully going to be going and getting some interesting stuff done either in Vienna or in London soon.
Yeah, did you reach out to the London lab?
No, not yet. I was going to ask if you have particular contact info. I don't have any.
I sent the link I sent you had an email.
Okay. Sorry, I need to look at that then. Yeah. I'll email them because that saves a trip to Vienna, and that'll be
real audio files optimize BMI for HRTF.
but no, so what does optimizing BMI for HRTF look like? Because
unironically, being fatter might be better because better vibration.
That's what I was
just kidding. But you also you probably get a better seal in many cases, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
So that's for HPTF, but for HRTF, I do wonder what the effects of BMI are, if and more importantly, what optimize means. Does optimize mean the products that are currently on the market sound better for you?
I mean, I can't compare because obviously it's been a slow, gradual thing.
Yeah.
But I've got to imagine that it's got to have some impact, whether it's overall negative or positive. I imagine may even just depend on the person, but it's got to affect things in some degree. But yeah, no, I should reach out to Craig actually and ask whether it might be possible to get a rescan whilst I'm in SoCal because genuinely we'll need one. I clicked on a video from last year. I can't remember which one it was now. I think it was the was it the DAX 101 video? No, it wasn't that one. I can't remember which one it was, but I just watched a year-old video and I went, "Oh my god, I was a big boy."
You are definitely not a big boy anymore. Well, I mean, your head is still huge, but that's a
my head's still huge. So that's not going to change.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
People are talking about
people are just talking about a whole bunch of weird shit.
Yeah. Time to Photoshop baby resolve no beard. So funnily enough, if I were to ever do a collab with Moondrop and would be required to put a waifu on the box, it would still have a beard.
Yeah. And Andrew has generated this with
there AI. Is an image of what it would be.
Atrocious.
That's hilarious.
We need more questions, guys. Give us some spicy takes and questions.
It's the only waifu with a beard, right? That's.
But also, whilst we're waiting for questions, because we haven't explicitly said it in the stream, just thank you guys so much for watching, and hopefully you enjoy the stuff that we do. Getting to 200,000 subscribers is it's kind of wild to think about, and it wasn't that long ago that we hit 100,000. So the growth has been crazy, but just the fact that so many people are enjoying what we do and it motivates us, makes it worthwhile, and it's awesome that you guys are all here watching. So thank you very much.
Thank you to everyone but Tam.
Yeah, thanks to everyone but Tam. Yeah. So we should thank everybody individually except for Tam.
Yes. Yeah, and we will.
Oh, Joel appreciates Tam. I don't know.
Bad take.
Can you guys sign my Razer headset at CAD Jam? I would have to for the meme.
That'd be funny.
Yeah. We've been going for 2 hours. Anything else? Is there anything that you either of you want to reflect on over the last 200,000 subscribers?
I think that in the last year or so in particular, I've seen quite a healthy shift away from the everything must match the Harman target exactly mentality, which I think is good.
In the community or in our content?
In the community, I'd like to think in large part as a result of our content. So that's something which I think is just healthy overall. And some of the work that we've got coming up with the, I don't know how much can be said, but there's lots of good stuff coming, and I think that there's some healthy developments to be had. That in particular, though, I think is one of the best things that could have happened, because the Harman research is fantastic, but I think people were misusing the Harman research and what Sean Olive himself had said to the detriment of everyone, and shifting away from that, I think, has been good.
Yeah, I mean, I still see some of that misuse, of course, but I think the fact that we're not the only ones doing things like preference bounds and compensating to flat DF and understanding DF as the sound condition for headphones and all that kind of stuff, like that is encouraging to me. That even I don't care who gets referenced for this kind of stuff as much as I care about the community understanding it more. And I think we have seen an increase in that understanding, even though there's much work to do.
Better. We want people to enjoy the stuff that they get and be able to make better informed decisions as well. Yeah. But just some of those shifts I think have been good.
Yes.
Yeah. Joel said he thinks it's been interesting to watch Andrew slowly stop believing in resolution over the last couple of years.
Yeah, well, not couple of years. I haven't believed in.
A couple.
No, but
what do you mean by not?
Would not have been the last couple of years. That would have been like the preceding couple of years. That would have been like, I don't know, until about 2021 or something.
Okay, Charlie's saying headphone show slowly becoming ASR. No, this is the point.
That's the point. Yeah,
talking about some of the things that ASR is doing that we are incorrect.
Yeah, I mean, like my name was based around the double entendre. It was supposed to be a triple entendre, to be honest. But the thing is, though, I look back at that and I kind of think, for the same reason that I don't fault Kryn for doing the whole tonal technical dichotomy thing at the time when he did it. I look back at that stuff and I actually think I feel fairly positively about it, because not to say that I was infallible or anything like that, because certainly I made many mistakes over the years. But that's one where even just saying, hey, I am not able to connect what I see on the graph with what I hear is enough to embark on the path to trying to figure out what that is. And to identify that, to be able to identify that now as frequency response at the eardrum is, to me, that's like the growth that should happen, right? My wish is for the community to also be able to have that same kind of trajectory, because I think for a lot of people, the first blush experience of a product is in terms of these types of qualitative experiences, right? And this is where actually I was having an argument with Sean about this on whatever the blue sky thing, where these are not, we talk about terms like resolution and technicalities and detail, whatever, right? Like these are not quantified. These are not things that have been established in the lit, right? There's no papers that establish any of this kind of stuff. But that doesn't mean that people don't engage with these experiences in that way. And we've talked about this before, but I completely feel that that's like the first way that people are engaging with these experiences, right? That's how these experiences occupy the minds of listeners. And so to talk about it in terms of resolution and whatever else, as much as I lament that as confusion these days about having it as a separate category of evaluation from frequency response, I still think it is a valuable thing to report when somebody says, I like this better because it sounds more detailed, right? Or I like this better because it sounds more whatever dynamic. This has better soundstage. Like these are all things that I think are valuable things to report. And yeah, it's so to talk about this stuff in terms of what I think all of us three feel is the cause now. It's just because we weren't able to identify that same experience in the pre-existing graphs.
I think this is a way that old content in this sphere and current content in this sphere has kind of changed. Is that the old content from people like you and Kryn was more so you participating in a discourse and style of discourse that had already existed.
100%. I mean, even Kyle
Whereas,
talked about this stuff, right?
yeah.
Like,
Whereas now it's almost like we are actively changing the discourse and not dictating how it should be had, but kind of instead of just playing in the same pool everyone else is in terms of terminology and understanding, trying to further the understanding.
Yeah, like I don't think that Kryn should necessarily come out with a video that's all like technicalities is a lie, right?
I
don't
do.
think that.
I absolutely do.
No.
That'd
To
be
be clear,
great.
that would be a great video. I'm
Yeah,
just
that
not
would be
saying that
awesome.
I'm not telling him you need to do this, right?
Right.
He can believe it the way that he can communicate this stuff the way he wants to. And for the same reason that I was just reading over. Well, I don't want to spoil too much, but one of the things we're working on is kind of like a high level overview of the Harman research.
Oh, yeah.
And just looking over the timeline there, and one of the elements is Floyd Toole being able to indicate that human perceptions can be reliable indicators. And human
You're
reports,
talking about
right?
subjective measurements?
Yes. Yeah, exactly. And it's like, to me, it's like, well, we're already attaching data to I guess the interpretation of sound quality from people, right? The subjective experiences, and we have been for decades. So I don't necessarily see descriptions in that sort of older paradigm of evaluation as being all that different. It's just that
it does result in the content we make being different, though.
Yes, the content it does end up being different. And I think, to me, I don't have like a specific moment where I was like, oh shit, this is all just frequency response at the eardrum. It was more just like, okay, I'm hearing something that I don't see on the graph. This probably means that it's not being captured, right? And then going slowly from there to, well, maybe it is frequency response. Let's figure out what that would look like if it was. And then understanding things in terms of, HBTF variation or acoustic impedance differences or whatever else, right? It's gone a long way to changing that content that we put out, and I think for the better. It's not for the easier. That's for sure.
Yeah, but it has led to, I think, whereas the content, I wasn't here, so I won't say our content, but your content was kind of this thing that I guess I'll say perpetuated the momentum of this hobby, as most audio content would. Whereas I feel like now it's a force that stands in opposition to a lot of the existing
become
forces
combative,
in
yes,
the hobby, and is no longer a reinforcement.
Yeah.
So I think it adds this kind of the discourse is more interesting now because the it's not just all thesis. There's thesis and antithesis kind of actively disagreeing in a lot of
you're getting
cases.
philosophical.
Hegel is my one exception. But yeah, I don't know. I think a lot of people would say the discourse is less interesting, but it's because they're seeing less of the takes that they want to see, when actually I think it's more interesting because there's a larger plurality of takes and more reasoning behind both sides of the fence.
But also, I don't think the experiences that we have need to get worse as a result of understanding their cause better.
No, those aren't getting worse because of our content or the discourse. They're getting worse because products are getting worse.
There are some.
I don't know. I also don't know that's
true.
true.
The problem is that a lot of manufacturers don't pay any attention
just still
to. Like, there's many manufacturers who will quite happily admit that not only do they not pay attention to what's going on in the discourse and whatever, but they don't even pay attention to what the competition is doing. Like, they just go, no, we just do our own thing. This is how we do things. If you ask about even X other massive headphone company that everyone and their mum would know about, they'll go, no, we haven't tried any of their stuff. It's like, that's remarkably common among manufacturers. So I think the real answer there is that a lot of them just don't pay any attention to anyone else.
Yeah. Or, I mean, I've had conversations with manufacturers where I will tell them, hey, this is how you get a better sense of XYZ, whatever they're trying to do in terms of the subjective stuff. And then they will reply directly with, well, we know that frequency response is is not all there is to it. There's also all these other things. I'm like, okay, but yeah, but you're trying to make the thing have those effects. This is how you do that. And so it's sometimes difficult to have those conversations because they still understand it in terms of the previous sort of evaluative landscape. And to get back to that, what you're saying, Griffin, about like there was an established way that people would evaluate these things and understand these things, and we were sort of participating in it. That does sort of cultivate and steward a certain audience that now, if they haven't come along for the ride, our current content is going to be combative with. But so, for example, I'd look back to folks like Metal 571. Like what I was doing way back then was in large part a result of the way that he would go about, reporting his experiences with this stuff. And Tile Hertzens and even Kryn. Like Kryn and I used to, back when I first started the Headphone show, right? Like early on, Kryn hadn't even started his channel, right? But he was already thinking of it in those same terms. And so it was like, there, in a way, this is it gets back to the microcosm that I use as kind of like an analogy for this whole thing is when we had a better understanding of DD bass in IEMs with once we had 4620 and 5128 data. That difference, I think, is the... Oh, you're having a giggle.
An eminent one's take.
Superman with outer pants for the next decade is a travesty. I don't understand this take.
It's just so orthogonal to the discussion.
Unhinged. Yeah. But no, the whole like DD, when we understand DD bass in terms of frequency response, like that difference that people were reporting with DD bass versus BA bass and IEMs, and then now we can measure it. It was like the subjectivists won. Like they were correct that there was more to the sound than what the graphs were showing, and it was a very obvious reason. And it's not that there was some separate thing that wasn't being evaluated. It's just that the existing metric was not sufficiently understood. And now being able to draw that line a lot better has done a lot.
Yeah, I don't think we're that much farther along in our understanding of BA bad, DD good yet. Like, no, but, that was certainly a very important finding.
But that's just an example, right? That's an example that I'm using as like that's like the vehicle through it, or the lens through which I look at like this subjective versus objective.
Yeah, it's an example I use a lot too.
Yeah, and it's like, well, the subjectivists were right. There were things that they were hearing that wasn't showing up on the graph. Now it is, right? That there's probably all kinds of other things too, let's say with IEMs especially, but like you get what I mean. There were things that couldn't be understood before in terms of the existing paradigms, and now we can.
Yeah, I said this on the forum. I was bringing this up because of like a kind of you can't find everything in the FR type of discussion, and I said I have only ever, like literally only once ever, encountered a situation where people's listening was more precise at pointing something out than the measurement instruments were. But we must be careful not to attribute this to listening skill, because in this case, it was literally just the measurement instrument not being good enough.
Yes, but that's the problem, is that like I wouldn't even say... You wonder if these things, like, we know that humans are fallible, like massively fallible, right? And just because you find a number of false positives and false negatives to do with the measured results doesn't mean that we should over-index for the massively fallible alternative.
Yeah, you gotta have both.
You gotta have both. You gotta have both. Yeah. Exactly.
There was quite a good question earlier. I'm trying to find it now. It was a username starting with F. Finellas, I think it was.
Have you guys bought any new headphones since you started being reviewers?
Yeah. So since starting reviewing, have you actually personally purchased?
Let me check my cope sheet.
I know you have.
So in terms of ones I still have, no.
I would buy a 490 Pro or an MV1 if this wasn't my job.
MV1 is the only one I've considered like buying for an over-ear headphone.
I unfortunately don't take Venmo.
Oh, AirPods Pro 2 doesn't count though, because like it's just so good that like everyone should own one.
I got the new Galaxy thingamajiggies with my new phone, and the ANC, when you turn it on, it makes like a really weird buzzy noise. So I don't know if that's a faulty unit, but a lot of other people seem to have the problem. So
faulty unit would not
That's
surprise
great.
me, because the QC on those is a bit. It's a bit.
Seems to be. Yeah, it's only on one side, so that indicates a faulty thing. But then everyone else said it was the same in the right side, so we'll find out.
Yeah.
Have you bought anything since becoming a reviewer, Andrew?
No, I don't think so. I mean, not for myself. I've
Really?
bought things for But that's not true. I bought some speakers. Oh, but they're asking for headphones specifically. I'm trying to think. I don't think I've bought any headphones. Speakers count. If you wear them on your head, they count.
Hud would disagree.
Yeah, exactly. I'm actually considering buying my dad a wireless Porta Pro.
That's a pretty good plan.
Yeah, because for him, like, he is the right person for that kind of product.
Yeah, a person who enjoys music
and doesn't care about sound quality. I don't know. Like, since becoming it depends at what point, right? Like, since it's become my main full-time job, no, I don't think I bought headphones. But because it would kind of be pointless, right? The bigger question would be like, if I stopped being a reviewer tomorrow, because I don't own any of this stuff, right? It all goes back. What would I buy? And the answer is probably still like D550.
I bought ZMF Atrium, the 1266. Sesvara I got before I was reviewing, so I don't think that counts.
Man's made of money.
I mean, this is over like 5 years or something. Jesus, it's been a while now.
Not living in Vancouver will do that to you.
Not living in Vancouver, yeah, that helps.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think what other headphones.
Yeah,
I don't think I've bought other headphones than that. I think those are the main ones. Actually, no, I bought a replacement set of Kato because I lost my old ones.
Oh.
And then I found the original ones.
Oh, Qdelix 5K.
I didn't buy mine.
Oh, sorry, not Qdelix. What am I talking about? Before the Qdelix 5K, what was the Ear Studio?
ES5?
No, it's like ES100 or something. Like, it was the thing.
Oh, yeah. No, yeah, ES100.
Yeah, I bought that. That was great. And then it became the Qdelix 5K. Yes. Radson. That's the name of the...
Yes. Yeah.
Does Apple actually have an advantage in research? I would say yes, given the AirPods Pro 2 and actually, Real Engineering recently posted a video where they did a bunch of really detailed scans and talked about how some of the stuff in the AirPods Pro 2 works. Go watch that; it's very interesting. But yeah, Apple, they haven't even spoken publicly about everything that they've got going on behind the scenes. There is some really cool stuff that they're working on. But just, the technology that is in the AirPods Pro 2, the only reason it is anywhere near that cheap is because they can sell millions of units. It is an incredibly advanced piece of tech.
But also, they have understood this stuff in terms of acoustic impedance. They've understood this stuff in terms of HRTF, right? Like, they've recognized the problems with IEMs that the evaluative side of this space has just come to really take seriously.
One needs to understand that when you release a product that is so good that it is obvious to anyone who knows anything that they have research underpinning these things, and they don't have to say that they have research underpinning these things, it's just that obvious.
Mm-hmm.
You are unquestionably the GOAT, and that's why Apple just Joel said it. The only reason Hi-Fi exists is because Apple hasn't decided to destroy it yet.
Yeah,
that is true. That is true.
Unironically,
every advantage you could think of, They just
they do some questionable things like the AirPods Pro Max, so that makes you go, hang on, what happened there? But yeah, it's pretty evident that they've got some very smart people and clearly a lot of resources going into it.
Oh, they don't care. They like that. The problem with the AirPods Pro Max is not that they couldn't have designed something better for sound quality. It's that didn't matter.
they have patents in place that would effectively make for like they have identified basically every problem that exists for like this kind of headphone. They just have not saw fit to solve those problems yet because
they got to release 4 new versions, get people to keep up with it.
I don't know if that's why. I think the issue is that the sales volume isn't high enough for what would be like worth the time to actually make that product.
I mean,
when Apple's never making an active open back headphone, Horace. It would be great, but I don't think it'll ever happen.
Yeah, it's just not the right target market. And quite frankly, I think they'd probably be able to get around most of the issues with it being closed pretty conclusively anyway. Why aren't DSP headphones /IEMs better? Do they just not know how to tune, or are there physical limitations? I think it's a bit of both. There are quite a lot of
certainly
companies.
The former, sometimes the latter.
Certainly the former in a lot of cases. There are companies which... the new Sony InZone H9, for example. I don't know if the squigs are public for that. It is terrible.
I've seen the squigs. That looks horrible.
It looks like the worst thing. Posted a measurement and it looked quite different. You're talking about the IEM, right? Or the headphone?
No, the new over-ear.
The headphone looks fucking atrocious. Yeah. But
this is the company that bought Audeze and stuff. But even like Sony, I mean, Sony makes some weird decisions with their wireless headphones.
Oh God, yeah, they make really weird decisions with their wireless stuff, like really weird decisions.
And I mean, it's okay. So Dyson is an interesting one. My brother, just for transparency, works for Dyson, so I've heard a little bit about some of the goings on. And
he made the Dyson
it seems
sound.
that Dyson has absolutely incredible engineers on staff. Like they have some very smart people and a lot of resources. But with the first headphone, they quite frankly just didn't know how to tune a headphone properly. It wasn't really an engineering problem. From an engineering perspective, it was, even though it was a little bit of a goofy thing.
But they also fixed that with firmware. They were like, oh, this is
which I mean, they did not fix completely, but just that alone shows that it wasn't a DSP issue; it was a tuning issue. And I'm actually quite excited to see Dyson's upcoming headphone, because some of the stuff I've heard is pretty interesting about some of the... they may even be watching this, so let's just say that. There's a lot of these companies which have all sorts of engineering expertise that goes into every other aspect of product design, but tuning a headphone is something that may be fairly unfamiliar, and there's not exactly a manual on how to do it.
Well, there was design criteria for headphones and Gunter Thiel.
Yes, but most of them wouldn't have even heard of that. So.
But actually,
they should be better.
Guys, have you? Yeah. So, like, to me, the big thing is there is no actual, these days at least, there's no physical limitations. Obviously, there are mistakes can get made there as far as like making bad choices, but like there's nothing inherently limiting about, let's say, the wireless codecs that are available today. That make it so that you cannot have a good tuning in a wireless headphone. It's just that there's a limited
processing power, and literally lossless codecs as well. So
so like but even if there weren't lossless codecs, like the sound quality limitations are on manufacturers not understanding what good is, or not caring enough, right? It not mattering enough for them to implement it or figure out what good is. That's specifically with consumer devices. I think the bigger issue is with high-end and audiophile devices. Manufacturers think they know what good is, and will come up with all kinds of weird, sounding stuff.
I mean, like you said earlier, a lot of the companies, you can talk to them about some of the stuff, including in some cases some things which are less contentious and are pretty proven, and they'll go, yeah, well, that's not all there is to it, and this way is
Yeah.
a better way of doing that, and then they end up with a weird result that doesn't even achieve that properly at all.
Yeah.
I think collectively we've had some conversations with certain manufacturers, and in some cases some pretty large ones, that have been a little worrying about, to be blunt, how little some of them know. Like, to be clear, we're not, obviously we're in this space, but we're not sat here going, oh, we know everything. But some of these companies, it's a worrying lack of basic knowledge.
Yeah, like
cases.
the whole pinna bypass thing, for example, yes. Where it's like, well, this is some fairly like foundational things that are being misunderstood. They might have engineering chops, but they don't necessarily pay much attention to evaluative theory and what actually sounds good. Which is, you need both of those things to make a good product.
Yes, you do.
Yeah. By the way, I was going to ask, have you guys seen those videos from the Nothing CEO where he is reacting to reviews of his headphones, of like the
no.
Okay. One thing that came up there was kind of, I actually liked the content. I thought it was fun to watch, and I thought that's a good way to respond to criticism for the manufacturers, just to like give your reaction to the review in a video, because then you can talk about it. But one thing that he said, when people are, I think it was to do with the Nothing over-ear headphone. He was looking at the Linus Media Group review, and where they showed the frequency response, and he was saying, okay, it looks like the frequency response graph doesn't look very good here, but there's lots of other places where the frequency response graph's done differently, and it looks a lot better. And I was like, oh shit! So they're basically taking this is shots fired to Mark Ryan. They're taking the Mark Ryan approach to evaluative theory, where basically anything goes. Like if there's a preference target, then it's all good, right? And I think that also misunderstands the point of having, like certain standards that, like, for example, calibrating to or compensating to diffuse field, because that's the sound field condition for headphones. So even if in practice the general like data visualization noise has increased, that doesn't mean that like the Wild West outcome has unfortunately reached manufacturers, and now they're taking that as license for tuning it however the fuck they want. And that's a problem.
But Joel said, this is a secondhand story that I've heard, so it is hearsay to some extent, but supposedly the head engineer at Beyerdynamic did not know what the Harman research was. Oh God. I mean, if that's true, which we don't know if it is, that's kind of an example of what we're talking about. Like, Beyerdynamic's not a small company, and they've been around a while, and that is something which anyone just glancing at YouTube or Reddit would know about.
Mm-hmm.
So it's worrying when stuff like that happens.
Yes.
But also pretty common. Lego is asking, what happened with the power conditioner UPS surge protection video? Do you intend to continue with the experiment, or did it get wrong? No, most of that's finished. That's going on my channel. That's not a Headphone Show thing. But it will be up at some point. I just haven't had time to actually finish editing it.
Sorry if we don't want to discuss this on a live stream, but is there a reason where we're not publishing that video?
Because it's a lot of Patreon support went into making it possible.
Okay. Oh yeah, you had to like buy a lot of those pieces of gear.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
No, Mark Ryan, I was not firing shots at you specifically, but the whole squiggling making it possible for there to be expensive. Like a myriad of different a plethora of different preference targets that are just like vibes based. Okay, we've been going for 2.5 hours. Should we call it there? Should we end the stream?
So anyone have any more questions? Anything else?
Last chance for spicy takes or questions.
Will the Headphone Show ever review DTS bar talk? Probably not.
I have one here at the moment, but I'm not doing a video on it.
So I hear we're shooting Mark around. Blaine shows up as soon as there's a whisper of potential violence.
Yes.
Oh dear.
You know, like the Napoleon Dynamite scene where there's the farmer who shoots the cow in front of the school bus.
Wild scene that I had not remembered until this moment.
It's the best scene of the movie.
Oris,
What's your favorite
more-
memory from
more
this year?
wholesome question. What's your favorite memory from this year?
This year. Just 25 or like the past year?
Whatever, man. Just give a memory.
Uh,
I always have to turn back to one of the can jams. Probably, I don't know which one I'd pick, but just, I always really enjoy going to those, getting to see everyone, catch up with people. It's just always a really good time. So one of those, take your pick of which, probably.
so I'm typing my pick to Griffin because I don't want to say it.
Oh, I don't have Discord open.
Was the chicken wing incident this year, technically? Or was that
No.
last year?
It was
It was
last
That was
year.
last year.
I'm just waiting for Resolve to press enter so I can see his take. Oh, Constantine. Hey, man.
Hey, Constantine.
Hey,
We'll miss you too, dude. I mean, Cameron will be there. So if
Yeah,
you want to
okay,
connect with Cameron, you know what he looks like.
will you review anything from Flux Lab? I would like to. Just haven't had anything sent in. But if they're willing to send anything, yes, I'd definitely be interested to check that stuff out.
Mark asks about, he just got sent ear tips with a metal ring in the nozzle to accompany an IEM for review. I know the IEM he's talking about, and I know the tips he's talking about. I think you got them too, Andrew, at least if your package arrived. The RSV Mark II.
It did arrive.
My thoughts are, I do not think this trend has anything to it.
Sounds amazing, by the way. This box.
What is the supposed point of putting the metal ring in? Like prevent deformation, or
Who knows, right? I asked the manufacturer, and they said the metal ear tip part on the nozzle termination will make it less bassy, which no, it won't. I think it could maybe do something in the treble, like maybe it's damping less, since that kind of surface is now like a flat plane of metal instead of silicone. I don't know.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah,
Who was the best reviewer on the
basically
Headphone show?
what Oratory said.
We know the answer to this, and it's Caleb.
No, it's Taryn.
Oh, Taryn. Yeah, Taryn.
Yeah.
Wait, what was the question?
Who's the best reviewer on the Headphone show? Taryn.
See, if we say that, then that becomes a real problem. So I'm gonna stick with Caleb. Because we know Taryn's probably watching and is gonna hold it against us.
I'm not going to answer
I like
this
hearing
question.
Taryn's takes on stuff. It's usually like 2 words and nothing held back.
Yes. We should have Taryn on more regularly.
We should.
Well, just
Or
once.
even-
Just once.
yeah, just
would be
once.
enough.
Just once.
Like,
Yeah.
Oh wait, hold on. Blaine apparently had a take. Almost everyone in this hobby has some weird copium-fueled need for their preferences to be inherently superior, and they seek refuge in obscurantism, postmodernism, and positivism, and all are fundamentally the same. This is not a spicy take.
Postmodernism. I'm
I think
with
Blaine
you
has
until
ruined
sort of
us.
Breezy Amar is asking, is fast bass response not related to the type of driver, just frequency response? It is related to the type of driver potentially in that the type of driver impacts the frequency response you get. If you had the same frequency response with 2 different types of driver, it would not matter.
Yeah,
So
any driver can have
look
fast
at the
bass.
frequency response. Don't pay attention to the particular type of driver.
Mhm.
Blaine follows up with, it's weird how much in common the person on ASR saying everyone who doesn't like the stealth is a subjectivist who rejects science, and then the person who on Headphone saying that the role requisite is number 1. Clearly the best thing on earth, and anyone who rejects that is coping.
Yes, these two people are the same despite how different they think each other are.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I mean,
any word on the Viking Weave Draupnir? He's taking it to SoCal.
I've seen
he's
the
made some-
images of that version, and it looks glorious.
Looks so pretty. It looks so cool. It's so, and he got the cable to match the physical construction with the gold It's,
I mean, to be clear, it's unhinged as fuck.
It's unhinged as hell, and I love it. It's great. He's made a lot of tuning improvements. Like, he's been really working, and there's probably 3 dozen iterations that have happened. It's just, yeah. Do you think the HE6 SE is worth spending money and time on if I'm planning to modify them, especially considering the air gap behavior? What are you planning to do to modify them, I guess is the question.
Sorry, which headphone? HE6 SE?
HE6 SE, I assume V2.
If you create a structure here,
that's honestly probably my favorite Hi-Fi Man headphone in terms of sound. The mids are terrible, but
HE500.
It's the only one with treble that doesn't annoy me to the ends of the earth. So
and Vision XV.
Blaine said, honestly, actually, here's a hot take. I profoundly regret how little time I've spent arguing on the internet over the last decade. Oh, Jesus.
Honestly?
I mean, I can't help feeling like the audio space would probably be in a better place if Blaine did spend more time arguing on the internet.
He's just forcefully correcting people's opinions, one person at a time.
Yes, this would
be
a
sake of Blaine's own mental health, though. I think that might be a bad idea. But I mean, in my Discord like 2 days ago, I think Blaine literally spent the argument went a full 48 hours.
Jesus Christ,
48 hours nonstop, and oh my god, it was.
I think one of the biggest shames about good online discourse, and by that I mean like discourse where at least one person participating is both being patient enough to actually explain their viewpoint but also like understands what they're saying, is that usually these discussions run a little bit long, and most people who are like doing drive-by in a Discord server and just peeking in and then leaving aren't going to read the content when it's actually really good content. I feel like that's kind of a limitation of Discord in general.
Over Discord stuff, like the conversations have more permanence. I mean, I personally like to think I have quite a lot of patience for people that are genuinely interested in, like, you know.
I'd say you have too much patience, actually.
Potentially, but I mean, like, if someone's actually engaging in a debate, it doesn't matter if we disagree as long as people are actually debating in good faith. But then there are some people where it just becomes clear that no, you're never going to have your mind changed. You're bringing up straw man. Like, if you're not having a real discussion, there's no point.
I think one of the issues as well, though, is like the type of discourse that a given platform invites. So like a forum engagement is very different from Discord. And I've seen this also with both of you guys, where Cameron, you are incredibly patient with people on forums to a point where, like, I don't think Griffin would ever be nearly that patient, you know, whereas Discord, I feel like Griffin is like very much like there to help folks out. And it might be because of the types of people that you get there too on forums, or the people whose
definitely, yeah.
The thing with forums, though, for me, and part of the reason why I sort of have more patience there is because I know that the discussion isn't just for the person that I'm having a discussion or debate with. You know, other people are going to come and read this, and so if there is something which I feel is actively, you know, detrimental to people's understanding of something, it doesn't actually matter whether the other person ends up agreeing or not. I want to try and explain so that whoever comes and reads this next understands what's going on.
Blaine's spicy take here is a good recipe for nobody to ever participate in forums, which is probably a good outcome.
Nobody what?
To participate on forums.
Forum owners should do random pop quizzes for people weighing in on active discussions regarding parts of the previous dialogue, and if they didn't read it before talking, they get perma banned. I mean, it's like, it's a good idea in theory, but then it's also one where you'll just end up with a dead forum. So unfortunately, I don't quite know if
I don't know. I also feel like on forums, like, I don't know. It might just be because of the format, but I feel like forums are less casual because.
Wait, Griffin is not a fan of balls on Discord?
I recently there was a swath of people in our Discord chat who were spamming GIFs of cats doing fun things, which usually fine, but they all had balls and then a number on top of it, like not physical balls, the word balls and then a number. and just the spam was annoying me and other people, so I put a kibosh on that. But sorry, what I was actually saying was I feel like forums invite a different kind of content, a different kind of person, but also like a different kind of just more squishy like vibe. Like I feel like because of the state of information on forums typically being worse, and it being something where people are going to search back and look at what you've said, I feel like there's more of a need to be when you have an idea, inflexible about like stating it exactly as you actually think it, which means the posts are going to be longer, but it also means like I'm less prone to being like casual and fun and shit posty on a forum, because I feel like I'm more concerned with the content being reasonable.
It's got more permanence. You know, other people are going to go back and read it. I wouldn't necessarily.
I don't care if I say some dumb shit on Discord.
I wouldn't necessarily say that forums have a worse information. I think you tend to hang out in what I would call higher signal to noise ratio Discords than the average audiophile. So maybe you're getting a slightly better picture there than most, because Jesus Christ, if you go in certain servers, there's some absolute twaddle that gets peddled.
I mean, I'm in most of them.
Reddit's the worst. I think we can all agree on that.
Yeah.
Reddit is the worst. Voyager or Alto for 1266? I haven't heard Voyager, but the Alto does work really nicely with it, actually. It's actually one of my favorite amps for that headphone. So I can't give you which is best, but I can tell you that one is solid.
No, I agree with Blaine's take here. We should all just, find some basement somewhere and just look directly at blank walls, and then that's it, and not engage with the outside world, because you actually can't know that any of it exists. So, what's the point?
Why are we still here? Just to suffer.
Which take Cameron's perspective of optimistic nihilism a little bit, dial down the optimism a little bit.
I mean, I think there's space for optimism. I just don't think the products are what causes that.
Yeah, I mean, you and I agree on this, that the problem is less with, I mean, like, ultimately we do joke about and say that, the problem is with the audio file, but the more supervening problem is the products by and large. And if the products were better, if every product could be like a Maxwell type, thing, where it's like, or like an AirPods Pro 2 or something like that, right? Like something that's like genuinely deserving of praise, there would be a lot more reason to get up in the morning and get excited about things. But unfortunately, those are few and far between.
You have to have people that kind of understand enough to demand good products, so that then manufacturers make good products. And then that means that ideally people wouldn't even need to know what was good. But then because manufacturers make bad products and people buy into the bad marketing, and then people promote bad products, and it's
a cyclical issue. And as Rob points out correctly, what about a pointed stick?
That's a paddling.
Yeah. So on that wonderful message of optimism and nihilism, let's. I think it's time to end the stream. I'm going for 2 hours and 45 minutes. I'm also very hungry, so I need to go deal with that. As always, these streams have been brought to you by Headphones.com. Headphones.com makes this show and also other shows that we do and the videos we do possible. So if you find anything that we've said here funny, interesting, silly, valuable, or not, check out Headphones.com the next time you're in the market for new audio gear. There's all kinds of good stuff on there. I think that is. Oh yeah, and I can't forget to mention the 365-day return policy. Thank you, Blaine, for doing my job for me.
Helping out after all this time.
His sponsor reads were always the best. He takes deep pleasure in them. All right, on that wonderful disappointment, it is time to end, and we will see all of you guys in the next one. There should be a video coming out tomorrow.
Thanks for 200K.
Thanks for 200K, and also for future episodes of the Noise Floor. Just a reminder, this is not the Noise Floor. That is on a separate channel. That is on the Noise Floor channel.
Linked in the description.
Yeah, we get very unhinged there. It's ridiculous. This is the filtered, tame version of that. So,
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, bye.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.